Welcome to the Cultaholic Wrestling Podcast.
If you like a lot of wrestling on your YouTube, join our cult. Hello and welcome to the Cultaholic Wrestling Weekly Podcast. As Jack throws me off by putting his finger up, but it's just him being emotive. This is the dulcet tones of Maffew Greg, joined as always by the lovely Jack King.
Hello, Maffew.
And the fabulous Ross Twaddell.
Peace, love, and hugs, man. There's two fingers for you, Maffew. You all right there? There's two fingers there.
Oh, I'm always good with two fingers, pal. How are you doing?
I've had the most boring week of my life. As I've just been telling you off the air there. Off the air, there's a technical term for you. I've got this massive blister on my heel. The bottom of the heel where the heel makes contact with the floor. So every time I move, it gets aggravated. So I'm moving less than I normally do, which wasn't too much to begin with, but still, it's an awful way to live your life. I've become so bored, I've turned into Karen. I've turned into that meme. Because there's like allocated parking spaces outside here, right? So I've not been walking to work, I've been driving in just to save me heel. Getting to work, right? There's people in my parking space. And we went for a throwaway beer a couple of weeks ago, right? And I was parked in somebody else's space here because someone was parked in mine. And I came back from that throwaway beer, that nonchalant beer, to find a Karen note on my car saying, "Don't park here again, your reg has been taken," this, that, and the other. So I've been doing that to three other cars this week. Fantastic. I've been putting a little thing into the windscreen wipers and just leaving it there. Some woman drove off without even looking at it. Silly woman.
That's adulthood, that.
Yeah.
You realise you've reached adulthood when you
become
notes
a
and
petty,
little card.
bitter arsehole. That's when you reach adulthood.
Yeah, somewhere a picture of your car is on a bad drivers of Newcastle Facebook page. And
I hope
people
so.
doing the unhappy
I'll fight them.
emote. And then if your name. Not your name, your reg anyway, but whatever. But I'm sorry to hear that, Ross. I'm very sorry to hear about the blood blister.
It's not going away. And I've been to two different pharmacies, and they're like, "Well, there's nothing you can do. Just keep it clean. It'll eventually disappear." But it's because it's on a tactile bit of skin. I think it was the term that they used, that it'll just be there forever. So, yeah, lovely stuff. How's your blisters? Got any blisters?
My blisters are all fine. They're all asking after you. See how you're doing? Wondering when you're going to come over again? I miss you. No, I'm fine. Jack, how are you? And do you have any blisters?
No, I used to get quite a few playing the old basketball, but since I've become lazy, one of the best benefits has been a lack of blisters. But what I have got this week is Pfizer coursing through my veins. That lovely I felt a little bit rubbish, to be honest. I don't know how much of it's mental, because if you're thinking, like, when am I going to get these side effects? Then will you get some? Do you know what I mean? But no, it's just felt like a bit of a cold. So it's not like wiped me out. It's not been the flu-like side effects or anything. But I'm coming out the back end of it now, so I'm feeling all right. I'm feeling good. I heard that Andrew got it the worst, which is sad, because he's like the nicest one in the office. And
no, he isn't. He's a bad man.
No, he's beating Adam now.
No, he got framed. It's all been revealed. It was actually Adam throwing Yorkshire puddings at the office, not Andrew.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So
Andrew, he was framed?
Yeah.
By who?
We presume whoever the 6'4" man was in the bald cap throwing Yorkshire puddings at the office, but we don't know who that is.
Wait, I almost match that description.
Yeah, I know.
Let me know when and where you need my alibi for. So I'm glad that the purest babyface in all of WWE and has been cleared.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Got away with it, just like OJ.
I was trying in my head to think of some sort of heel turn pun for Ross and his blood blister, but at the same time I felt like, one, it was maybe a little bit disrespectful because it's causing him pain, and also I just couldn't think of the required wordplay. So
I just call it OJ Simpson.
OJ Simpson.
Just call my blood blister OJ Simpson.
Yeah.
Maffew just said the name OJ Simpson there.
All right, yeah.
You see his Twitter videos? I don't know if we spoke about this before on the podcast, but he always starts, "Hey, it's yours truly."
What, OJ Simpson?
Yeah.
As if like he's an old uncle.
Hey,
or
it's
something.
yours truly. Just the guy who got away with murder.
Yeah.
Oh, dear me. Maffew, did you see my tweet? So last night I found my original tweet of the first time you ever went, what a great podcast. So that'll be at the top or somewhere near the top of my Twitter feed today. and I'd recommend checking it out because you just say it. And normally now me and Ross it's part of the podcast, but you say it and we both just explode immediately.
Yeah.
We're like, what? And I feel quite bad watching it back because you were just trying to do your job.
Oh no, it's great. No, it's good that we're turning such a wonderful moment into a part of the show. I think that's everything.
It was weird.
Here. But it was funny because I was trying. I think it's the funniest thing because I'm like, what's the end bit? Rather than going, all right, cool, big question, I thought I'd go like, wow, it's been a great podcast, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Like a Bruce Forsyth.
It just came out really
Hey,
earnest.
what an episode of The Cards Are All Right. What? The Cards Are All Right. The name of that Bruce Forsyth show. Hang on. And it's like, wow, it's been great. People have won prizes. I'm doing a retrospective, you know. But that's as far as I got was, wow, what a great podcast.
Yeah, it's good.
Back in the days when the podcasts were like 90 minutes. Remember those days? Oh.
No.
I was going to say as well, a lot of the replies, or a couple of the replies anyway, were like, wow, so weird to see them in the live setup. And I'd also forgotten what it was like to be in the live setup, yeah. But Maffew, how are you doing this week anyway?
Oh, I'm great. I had the Pfizer thing last week. Didn't have any issues apart from a dead arm. Like, all right, fine. And then this week, I've been poo. So I think it's a delayed reaction, which is fine. I'm feeling better-ish today. You know, you're not 100%, but you'll take 70% over the 30% you have been. So I'm like, yeah, great. So it's fine. It was expected. It's a vaccine. It's what happens. And that's it. Just got to go with the flow. Drink lots of cups of coffee. And watch lots of wrestling.
Yeah.
Wow, wrestling. What a great idea. In the news this week, there's a report from a new writer that they've employed by WWE. They're a stand-up comedian, been featured on Tonight Show, Vice, and NBC. Is it Kenneth Mobley? I think I'm getting that name horribly wrong. Sorry, that's another edition of the podcast. Yes, I have just been hired by WWE. Given the things that you know about me and my entire life and what I'm into, yes, that's surprising. Also a surprise for me. They did not require me to know anything about wrestling, but I do have a background in film production and comedy writing. So like, oh, perfect, come in. What, you hate wrestling? Fantastic. The fans can relate to you so much. And so there's Monday Night Raw and Friday Night SmackDown. These are quotes. And the people I know that are on it are Bobby. His name is either Bobby Ashley or Bobby Lashley. And I really should know that. He's like this giant black guy, and he and the people who are part of his crew, they're called the Hurt Business. That's right. They wear suits, and they're like, we're cool.
I love that. That's my favourite bit. And they're like, we're cool.
That's their expression. They come out and MVP gets out and goes, we're cool.
Yeah.
And everyone cheers, you know. So it's fascinating seeing an interview with someone like this about the position they're going into, because we've always heard about WWE being more interested in comedy writers and people who've done TV drama and whatever, rather than, you know, uber smart, you know, Finn Martin with his custom-made Best of the Super Juniors 93 shirt. But we've never heard from them firsthand. He goes, oh, yeah, kind of wrestling? Yeah, sure, whatever.
I need to hear this quote from her mouth, because I need to know if she's actually speaking sarcastically or not, because there's a chance she's a comedian. She might be just extracting the mic out of everybody listening and just having a good old laugh at wrestling fans' expense, triggering the wrestling fans who like getting triggered over all sorts of stuff. But then again, there is a chance that maybe she doesn't know who Bobby Lashley is, because as I saw as part of that applying to be a WWE writer video I did way back in the day, you actually don't need to know anything about wrestling. It's all about your qualifications. It's school level and stuff like that. So I don't know how to take this one. I need to hear what you said first with her own mouth.
Yeah, same. It's an odd one. It is in fitting. I'm sure you were going to mention this, Maffew, anyway, but it is in fitting with the response of someone who doesn't understand wrestling fans and the response they'd give, because it's just quite a wonderfully naive. Wrestling fans have now pulled this apart and dissected it, and it's become a bit of a meme already. Now, if a writer did know what wrestling was like, they'd probably know that wrestling fans pounce on like any mistake at any point. So I don't know.
It's a weird timing as well, isn't it? When creatively speaking, WWE have been through a horrible few years, haven't they, in terms of their creative output and whatnot. So it's a weird time for a member of the creative team to go, I don't really know what I'm doing here. If she actually doesn't know what she's doing here again, I need to hear what you said. But,
Yeah.
The timing of it's weird as well, I guess.
I hope we go into the filmography and it's like she's done puppet shows and stuff. I'm like, oh, like perfect, you're hired. was a story years ago. I forget who it was. I think it was just a comedy writer. No offense, but it wasn't like one of the famous ones I've hired. And then an interview in Power Slam or something that got in Power Slam where they wanted to integrate themselves, going, "Oh no, I'm a wrestling fan." So they wanted to like Johnny Ace, and went, "Oh, big fan of those All Japan matches you had, mate. Oh, cracking!" And Johnny's like, "Oh, great." And Stephanie McMahon had to take the right to one side and be like, "Don't do that. Shut up. don't mention those wrestlers." It's like, "Oh, okay, sorry." So, very interesting.
Yeah.
Keith Lee is reportedly facing issues trademarking his own ring name because of prior applicants to do the same by WWE. Apparently, it was reported back in December that Lee applied to trademark his name for usage as a pro wrestler. However, he's now facing issues with getting the trademark accepted, as according to heelbynature.com. So there's a notice sent to Lee's attorney last Monday. Said there were 2 issues with the application, one of which is a prior pending application for the name filed by WWE. So we haven't seen Keith Lee in a few months. There was no injury angle or taken out or anything like that. It's had a few ambiguous tweets. Keith Lee going, "It's all right, it's fine, I'm still here." And then this has come up. So not one to put 2 and 2 together, but maybe, just maybe, the idea of Keith Lee not being able to trademark his own name that he's had since 2008. His own wrestling name, sorry, he's not Keith Lee. And now that he's actually trying to... Is actually...
His real name since the 8th of November 1984 has been Keith Lee.
But then if you...
It's his real human name.
But you'd have to... That's so weird.
It is
that you
weird.
have to trademark your own name that you also use as a wrestling or entertainment name. So,
well, it's not Keith Lee. When he's doing the wrestling, it's Keith Lee. Is that what how they differentiate?
Is that the ring announce? Is that the... Oh, right, okay.
We're trademarking Keith Lee!
Yeah.
Whereas Keith Lee from Wichita Falls, Texas, I hope I said that right. That's just Keith Lee.
American place names are better than our place names.
You've seen it in Primark, right? You walk through Primark and there's all these bits that, like, there's jumpers with like Chicago written on it. Imagine going to America and having like Middlesbrough.
OC Milton Keynes, established 1951, whatever, it's some random year.
What's the worst? Bognor Regis or something like that. Oh.
Putting the bog in Bognor Regis or whatever.
Sorry, I did sidetrack it a bit there. So Keith Lee.
You did a bit.
Yeah.
It was great. Thank you, Jack.
From Borough.
Another trademark of the podcast. Yeah, Keith Lee from Borough. It's weird, though. Do you think that in court they're doing the Vanilla Ice? Oh, no. His goes Keith Lee. Ours goes, Keith Lee.
Did Vanilla Ice get away with that? Or did he lose the case? He must have lost the case.
I actually forget.
It sounds
I remember
like
the story, but I forget
baseline,
what the conclusion was.
Same. It's just like all good stories in wrestling. It's more about the journey than the destination.
Yes.
So when Keith Lee's been saying, like, "I'll be back, don't worry about me," and all that sort of stuff, as you mentioned, his cryptic tweets, did he necessarily mean in WWE? It kind of sounds like he's at least trying to secure his future. It's just how far in the future is he thinking about trademarking his name for? I don't know. How can that...
But then the horror, to interrupt then, Jack, if WWE trademarks his name that he's used, and it is his name, and he leaves, he can't use the name he's used before.
Yeah, which is his name. I don't know. The thing as well, how can they, even if this is all harmless and he does return to the main roster, how is he not a star already? Like, they had him in the perfect position and then they just didn't, they messed it up. And I know we say this about, like, everyone, but Keith Lee, do you remember when he was, like, not battering because he lost, but when he was battering Roman Reigns at Survivor Series and everyone was like, oh, never mind.
Brock Lesnar, whoa, big boy.
Yes, in the Rumble, yeah.
Whoa, big boy.
Oh.
That's what he did.
Most of ever related to Brock Lesnar. So, according to WWE Insider, the idea behind WWE having so many Hell in a Cell matches, more on that later, in such a short amount of time, is to drive up interest in the company before fans return in July. The matches included the first ever Hell in a Cell on SmackDown and the first on Monday Night Raw since 1998. WWE were holding its first event with full capacity of fans in over 15 months with the July 16th SmackDown. There's no word on if NBC or Fox insisting on having the Cell matches. You go for this fantasy booking, one Hell in a Cell.
This is weird. This to grab the fans' attention because I didn't know about the Raw one. I get the SmackDown one because I think they announced it 24 hours beforehand. Was it just about on Twitter? So that's going to grab the attention. But for the Raw one,
as we were doing the podcast, so yeah, it must have been.
Yeah.
For the Raw one, I had no idea it had happened until I sat down on Tuesday morning doing the news with Jack. So that's not grabbed my attention. And I'm a wrestling fan. So imagine those damn dirty casuals.
I think it was announced that night by Xavier Woods. So yeah, it's very odd. Do you think that it was? Did they think it was going to be like? Do you know the story about the Ultimate Fighter, like the first Ultimate Fighter season in the UFC, and the main fight, Stephen Bonner and Forrest Griffin, and Dana White loves to tell the story. Like everyone texted their mates saying, "You've got to turn on whatever channel it was on." Do you think that's what Vince thought people watching Raw would do? Text your mates. Oh, is the phone gone?
I heard that in the background. Yeah, they still have that mentality of which we'll just announce it. We won't hype it up. We'll just announce it.
It doesn't benefit either way.
To their TV
Fire
screens.
alarm.
Fire alarm.
That's how hot the show is right now, and it's only the news.
Sorry, I couldn't hear what you were saying because I had to take my headphones off.
It's been an interesting news week so far, Matthew. I'm enjoying this.
I don't know if you've said this already, but I think grabbing the attention by putting on that Hell in a Cell match as well was a weird one. Because I can see why they did it, because obviously on Raw you're giving it away without pay-per-view buys and whatnot and all that stuff. It wasn't exactly the most captivating Hell in a Cell match ever, in my opinion, compared to the ones we've seen beforehand. So if that was to grab the attention, or is it just the fact that, Hell in a Cell's happening on Raw? Have I just said something?
I think that's it, Ross.
Yeah.
Hell in a Cell.
Oh, big boy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Brock saw it and went, ooh. You're a big cell, aren't you?
You're a big red cell.
Oh, yeah, it's red. I mean, I know we've just watched the pay-per-view and everything this past week, but I always forget that it's red in my head.
After 4 days of Hell in a Cell matches. Yeah, it's red.
It's red.
Did it go red because it was a Raw pay-per-view like a few years ago?
Maybe.
I thought that was the reason why, yeah.
Yeah, aye. I was speaking the other day to Jack Atkins and we had a small argument.
Oh,
no, we didn't have a small argument. He was like, no, so it just happened out of the blue. I was like, no, I'm sure it was a Raw pay-per-view a few years ago. So Atkins, take that, which you put the podcast on in the background. He puts the podcast on in the background? He does?
He actually... Oh, lads!
When he does what? Like Devil Morocco style?
I need a shout out. I believe his name was Al, and I said I'd shout him out on the podcast. I was walking home from my girlfriend's the other weekend, and I had my headphones in and stuff. What are you rolling
Carry on. I'm sorry.
This isn't like a Millhouse situation you've met, or a Kirk Van Houten situation. Anyway, this guy walked past, and he motioned for me to take my head. I was like, "All right, what's going on here?" And he said, "Mate, I'm listening to your podcast right now." And he turned his phone around, and he actually was. And I don't know which one of us was more freaked out, but it was a great little moment. So shout out to Al, and hope you're listening to this one as well.
I hope you responded with, "Yeah, that's not that unlike, to be honest with you. Have you seen how long these bleeding things are?" And you went, "Yeah, fair enough."
I wish I'd been that witty, but we were both just so shocked by what had happened. We were both just like, "Oh, no way!" So just in the middle of heating. Yeah.
God, imagine getting told to take your headphones off in the middle of heating.
Oh, that's that could have gone either way, to be honest with you, mate.
Heating's a harmless area.
Sorry, go on.
No, I mean, go on, Matthew. You've also lived in Heaton.
Oh yeah, Heaton's fine, but if you just make sure you look non-threatening. So obviously I lived in fear for many years, but the thing I've learned from watching YouTube stuff and don't do this or whatever. So when someone goes, hey, come here, I need to whisper something in your ear or something to tell you something. So you go, huh, and lean forward, and then they crack you. So taking off your headphones or whatever, that's fine. So you keep a safe distance. But they go, hey, come here, I need to tell you something. That really, really quietly in your ear. So wait a minute, let me just get in the worst position possible and lean forward towards you.
He didn't do that.
But I'm just self-defense is a good defense.
Look at this mug advice on the podcast. Never thought I'd be speaking about mug advice today.
Oh, and what's the other stuff I've learned from YouTube? If someone's yelling at you, it's it's got to throw down. If they take off their watch and put it in their pocket, it means they're used to this. So just go, all right, yeah, you win. Never mind, yeah, we'll call it a draw. And the final bit of news, trying to end on a happy note, I guess, but Joey Janela dressed up as, quote, David Meltzer, not that David Meltzer, to disrupt Drake Vert's recent rant to the school when he was talking about how you got to ban kids wearing face masks or something in America, USA. So Joey Janela went in cosplay as a concerned citizen and made it on the news because he goes, I'm just fed up, or something like that. Something American. And even took a photo with his former pal, Drake.
Right, so
he didn't realise.
it was funny, definitely. But that's what I thought. I was like, surely they're both like CZW boys. Surely they'd know
At
each other.
different times, but yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
But he was in disguise.
No, he wasn't. He just looked like Joey Janela. Do you not think?
It did look.
You know, once every man went undercover boss, and it was just Steph.
In a blonde wig, was it?
Yeah. And everyone's like, just pretend she's the boss. So yeah, Janela took time from dressing up and pretending to be a wrestler every week on AEW Dark to show up and pretend a concerned citizen.
Hey, that was nasty, that.
Oh, I thought it would be funny. I like Janela.
Really...
But
right,
Taz is always ribbing him.
Yeah.
Like, Taz on AEW Dark commentary whenever Janela's around is brutal.
That's some news. Taz has made a new meme.
The best way to end the new section. Taz is a new meme.
Nodding his head. Taz is brilliant, man.
Can we all do a Taz impression?
Are we just all agreeing that we can't? Yeah, I can't do that.
Oh, yes. Taz, can I save money on my car insurance? Oh, yes.
Oh, yes.
You
I
seen him these
suppose
days,
it'll cost lots of money, Taz. Oh, no.
Have you seen Churchill these days? Not Winston, the dog. just in case Drew McIntyre's watching. Not Winston Churchill, Drew, the dog.
Why did it? We'll get on to that.
We'll get on that later on. What a weird man Drew McIntyre is these days. Anyway, Churchill the dog has gone from being, oh, yes, I'll have a party gravy down at the pub sort of fella, to now being sort of laid back hipster, I'm on a skateboard, I don't even speak anymore. In the new adverts, which I find shocking.
Oh, no.
He's lost what he was. Sort of like Drew McIntyre.
These millennials.
They've got like the lo-fi chill beat sort of music playing in the background as Churchill the dog flies around on his little skateboard.
Oh, Churchill's going to become a Twitch streamer. That's the way we're getting to now.
Oh,
Churchill in a hot tub, yeah.
Churchill, the insurance dog.
I tell you what, I was flicking up because Sam was like, "Watch this game I'm going to play on Twitch." Sam was playing this game on Twitch last night, right?
I was in his stream for a bit. I couldn't get it.
What a therapy! I thought it was quite therapeutic.
Fair enough.
You got a power washer essentially, Maffew, and you wash like grit off stuff, mess off stones and stuff. Just wash it off with a power washer. That was the game.
That's just the game.
Yeah. That was the game.
Okay.
Yeah. So you get the suggested ones down the side on desktop on Twitch. Click that one at the bottom that was labelled ASMR. That was my first experience of an ASMR Twitch stream. She was just like, kiss. Eating crisps. It's just like, oh, why did people... And she was wearing like, a low-cut top and all this stuff. And I was like, what is humanity these days? What is humanity? What's going on? Why can't we go outside and kick a football around these days?
Yeah.
Do you know why? Because of Churchill, the chill hipster insurance dog. Churchill, can I go outside and see me mates? Oh, no.
Speaking of breaking lockdown rules, there has been shocking news from Parliament this morning.
That's my Hall of Fame pick.
I'll leave that.
It's always got to pick up the Hall of Fame. Nothing's happened. So that was the wrestling news and some other stuff that isn't wrestling or news.
Everybody get excited for the Cultaholic Hall of Fame!
Now it's time for everyone's favourite segment, the Hall of Fame. And in condescending order from last week, Daniel Potts Drums on Instagram. I would run Jack's heart, but not this time. 11%.
That was yours? Oh, it was Ross.
Beg your pardon. Sorry, that sounds like something you would do. To be honest
I thought it was yours, Maffew. We've all got it wrong.
Yeah, everyone pointed at one another like the Spider-Man meme. Scottish commentary on BBC when Patrick Schick's halfway line goal went in. 32%. Oh, I can hear him play that in my head.
Czech Republic on the break. I got some dogs abuse off Scottish people on Twitter.
Some of you deserved it, your thoughts last week, to be honest with you.
Oh, no, I didn't. And anyway, no, it was after they drew with us 0-0. People were acting
they won 0-0.
They beat us 0-0, sorry, yeah, absolutely.
And then with the first team eliminated from the entire competition.
A quick thing. So I was at work when the England match was on.
Sorry.
And so we can hear, because loads of people watching it at Stack, I believe. So we hear the, yeah. I'm like, oh, okay. Check BBC Sports, whatever, instant feedback. And it says, 1-0 England. All right, cool, great. And then later on, about an hour or so in, we hear another cheer. And we're going, wonder what that cheer was about. There's been no update on the England match. No one scored or anything. And someone said, no, it's full time. It's a Scottish match and they've been out. And I went, they cheered that?
Yeah.
That's shocking.
Now, to be fair, when, the way Scotland have been over the past, this entire century, really. Apart from a brief spell in sort of 2008 where they were quite good. Getting a big draw, and the way they played it as well was very good indeed. I'd just like to say, because I got dog's abuse as well, when I'm speaking about football, about other teams that aren't my own, it's very much tongue-in-cheek, so don't take it as such. Me and Jack just did a laugh like the Miz there. Like a comical heel. Yeah. Don't take offence to it, it's fine.
I've got Scottish friend. All of them.
Don't
go down that route.
I've not talked to Jen or Kenny since. I've talked to Fraser though.
Well, try to talk to someone when you're blocked.
I've talked to. In fact, I watched the game with Fraser, who had a lovely time. He doesn't really care about football, so I was like sweating, like, "Oh, come on!" And he was just like, having a great time. It's great. So
is Fraser Scottish?
Fraser's Scottish.
Yeah.
Is he?
He's from near Edinburgh.
Oh,
Inverness.
Yeah, he had such a
no, not in.
Posh
No, he's not
accent.
from Inverness. That's just not true. That's just not true. But after the match, this drunk Scottish bloke walked past looking for his mates, or like looking for a bar where his mates were, and we pointed him in the right direction. And after he'd left, I said to Fraser, like, "Do you know whereabouts he was from?" And he was like, "I'm probably near Leith." I was like, "Oh my god, just what a superpower!" You could tell where someone was from by their accent. It's all Scottish to me. But yeah.
So
Fraser is Scottish. Yeah.
Awesome. I know.
And if you've not met him yet, lovely lad as well.
I have met him. I didn't realise that. So I don't know if that's on me or him. Sorry, Fraser. I'll buy some shortbread. Dom West was the winner from last week. 58%. And I feel I should celebrate like Dom West. Yeah! We did it! High five on camera. Yeah! And there's, of course, Dom West, who's currently dealing with... God, I've forgotten the exact thing that is, but regardless, I think we should put, if we can put a link to the description for his GoFundMe.
Yeah, that's a good shout.
Operations, then I think we should. Sorry, bring the tone down, but yeah. You all right, Ross?
Sorry, I've just seen a really shocking thing. Ty Conti, went to school with Philip Coutinho.
She did? Yes.
There's a picture of him there.
Yeah.
Sorry. I've picked the worst point of the podcast. I've picked the worst point of the podcast to read that.
You know what? That was the change in gear we needed. Like clunk, clunk.
They both look like the popular kids, don't they, in that picture?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at that hair on Coutinho. That's like me when I was 16. That hair, incredible.
He's got a bit of a curly thing going on. Yeah.
Lasses would go wild for that sort of hair.
Sorry, I'm not on that bit yet. I'm still stuck on. Every time I die, guitarist Andy Williams recovers drowning chipmunk.
What a heel! That's the butcher, right?
Yeah, it's the butcher.
No, wait, hang on. Let's ask Jim Ross.
Do you reckon they're going to collab now?
Well, because of that.
Yeah, Andy Williams and Chipmunk.
Oh, and Chipmunk, the rapper.
Back in the day.
Absolutely.
Oopsie daisy, I heard. No. Oh, that was the time to be alive, wasn't it, everybody?
Oh, Chipmunk's now more of a like if another rapper says something bad about him, he writes the most vicious diss tracks. I'm like,
Not
that
Chipmunk.
Chipmunk, yeah.
He's not like, capable of being horrible.
No, he is. He very much is.
He's the Andrew Hodgkinson of the mainstream rapping world.
He's not. He's the Adam Pacitti, it turns out.
Disgusting.
If Pacitti was a WWE writer, in fairness, he would have done exactly what that woman's done. So now I'm starting to think...
I think all the rich wrestlers should beat up the poor wrestlers. Then Vince is like... I love it, but they're all poor. Oh, fair enough. They should join the Freemasons. The other group in NXT. So if I won last week, then I'll go first this week. I'm trying to think if I've done this before, because it's not the first time it's happened to me. I live such an exciting life. Have I put mushy peas in the Hall of Fame before? Or
Rings a bell.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, just as well I had a backup plan. Because my American friend just asked me out of the blue, what is mushy peas, Matthew? And I'm like, well, it's peas and it's got a lot of stuff in it. All right, Matthew, my second question. What's that? Why is mushy peas? And I'm like, they're nice. They're part of our...
It's the glue that holds a chippy tea together. You cannot have your fish and chips
Ross.
or your sausage and chips without mushy peas on the side. That's right.
That's right.
Or your sausage and chips without mushy peas on the side. Or your sausage and chips without mushy peas on the side. That's right. Or your sausage and chips without mushy peas on the side. That's right. Or your sausage and chips without mushy peas on the side.
Thank you. That's the polyfiller, keeping the wall of the British meal together from falling apart. Anyway, so Mushy B's already been in. As much as I'd love to put it in twice, that's quite anticlimactic. So the only thing I've done really this week is beat Resi Evil 7 to get ready for Resi Evil 8. And it's weird you'd play one game to get ready for another one, but this is the first good Resi Evil that's first person. Okay. And I saw that originally. It's actually a few years old now, Resi Evil 7. But I went, I don't want to play a Resi Evil game where it's first person. Oh, it's going to be rubbish. Oh, jumping out and scaring you. Oh, I'm really scared. Then I actually bothered to play it because everyone was talking about Resi Evil 8. And yeah, believe it or not, the hottest take from 4 years ago, it's really good.
Oh, fair enough.
So it shows what I know. And it's starting a lot more emotional than usual. So it's usually, all right, zombie, stop and bang. But this time it's like it's one family that's you got to deal with, and it's all set in this one tiny little location. So you end up getting stalked around the house, and that's great because it's like just one dude going, "Where are you?" And you're like, "Oh, better hide behind this door." And because it's first person view, it's not that easy to move yourself around as it would be if it was third person. So there's a real sense of like, "Oh God, I hope he doesn't catch us." As you hide behind like a door, and you hear him, "Boom, boom, 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 boom." I better not open this door and find you. Oh God, it's so scary.
Giving me quite a Wyatt family vibe here.
Yeah, it's all that.
But with zombie.
I would hate to be like, I don't know, a scientist from Louisiana or something, or be like really clever, because all the representations you get from the Bayou is alligator hunters, Wyatt family, Texas Chainsaw Massacre types.
Do you remember what was it called? Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson. True Detective.
True Detective.
Season 1. Oh, there was some disturbing stuff in that. Did you watch it?
No, I've been told to watch it by a lot of people.
Season 1 was fantastic. Then it really fell off. But, oh man, some of those characters were very sinister indeed. Yeah.
But again, so I mean, it's like if I said this before, like WWE come to Memphis, they're like, Elvis! There's all the people in Memphis like, I hate Elvis so much. But I imagine it's like that. So Resident Evil 7 for all... Yeah, wow, Matthew. Yeah, write that down, Matthew. Ask your parents for Christmas. A game from 4 years ago. Resident Evil 7.
No shame in that. It's fair enough.
Not a very exciting pick this week, but it's not been a very exciting week because I've been on my backside. There we go, no swearing. Jack, you were second place last week. What have you got for us?
I've got a serious one this week, unfortunately.
Oh, no.
Sad news, yeah. So, Mark Hoppus, the bassist from Blink, has announced that he's got cancer and he's undergoing treatment for it. So, yeah, I'll put him in, or maybe just the band in general. I'll put Mark Hoppus in. The first band I ever got into was Green Day, and then, therefore, as the natural progression goes, the second band I got into was Blink. And they're just a great band, and I feel very bad for it. It's one of those ones where you hear a story about a celebrity and rarely does it. It's got to be someone you're like a proper fan of for you to be like, oh no, and that's sort of the reaction I got. So yeah, hopefully he's all right. Hopefully it turns out okay. But yeah, Mark Hoppus from Blink. Not got anything to add really. That's just a sad one. Yeah. What was the first Blink-182 song that you heard that made you go, oh, yes, I like this band? Well, the first Blink song I heard was probably All the Small Things because it was just everywhere. But the first one that I heard when I was like, oh, this is good, was probably Damn It. Do you know that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, that's a good one.
Rock Show.
Yeah, Rock Show's fantastic, yeah.
She said, what? And I told her I didn't know.
Yes. There's a line in that, she's getting kicked out of school because she's failing. Which I used to think was she's getting kicked out of school because she's stealing, which is also a good enough reason.
Yeah, it's quite American.
Another good thing about Mark Hoppus is he's the one who can sing as well. He's the one who people don't do impressions of. So yeah, but
some quick Twitter accounts just to quote it how he says it.
Yeah, but no, one of my favorite bands ever, and it's sad news. So Mark Hoppus. Go on, Ross.
I wish I went before you now.
No. Again, this is the change of gear we need as we head towards. Yeah.
What Tish? Tory Nonce caught necking on with Aid. Oh, British newspapers this morning with the hugest of huge scopes this morning with Matt Hancock caught in a allegedly. Allegedly.
Say allegedly.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
That's three allegedlys. Now you can say what you like.
3 allegedlys on.
On 3 allegedlys on an AIDS arse. Groping. Yeah. He was caught in a corridor by CCTV, necking on with his aide. I forget what her name is, but normally this is obviously a terrible thing because you're thinking of his wife and his kids at home and stuff. But then you think that Matt Hancock is the most smug, out of touch, smarmy, disgusting piece, trash bag hoe you've ever seen in your life. And you're thinking, So let's laugh at the Tory today. Let's laugh at Matt Hancock getting caught.
Also, it's bad because often, right, when something like this happens, even though, you might think, it's dodgy behaviour, that from them, I do feel sorry for the celebrity in question because I'm like, their private life is splashed all across the front of the news and stuff. But this apparently took place during lockdown. So when he...
Oh, I didn't know that bit.
Yeah. So, turns out when he was telling people, well, you can't go and visit your family. No, of course you can't. You can't be in contact with people. He's then having some sort of affair. So if it is him, allegedly. Yeah. The picture looks like... It's certainly a man who looks a lot like Matt Hancock.
Yeah.
And in fairness, I was like, should we really talk about this in the podcast? Well, at least wait for him to respond. And it's been Matt Hancock just doesn't want to say anything right now.
He said no comment, didn't he?
That's not a good sign. If you ever accuse of stuff like that, it has to be no way. And now to no comment, it's like, okay. Like how Boris Johnson with that lass who got all that money for a company.
The one who pissed off Lorraine Kelly.
That's what I know her from.
You're
I know more
dodging
about
the
that
question.
than Boris. Never mind the Prime Minister of the country right now. It's Lorraine Kelly. I don't even know what the point of you coming on was.
Yeah. Have you
I'd say
seen
she
my
sounds like a
growler?
reporter.
I need to clarify my use of the word nonce there, because when I was growing up,
I hope someone cuts that.
When I was growing up, I learned this when I first started doing YouTube, because I used it on a video once. And people was like, you can't be saying that about people. But when I was growing up, my gran would call me a nonce, because in ye olde Northumberland farmer speak, I don't know if it's any further afield. If it is further afield, let me know in the comments down below. But in ye olde Northumberland farmer speak, nonce means idiot.
Right.
Not what it means today. So when I use the word, I got a bit excited there. But it is funny seeing just a horrible guy getting caught in such a uncompromising position.
I like how we've said, like, allegedly you cheat on an aide, and then it's like, we also called him a nonce.
I was just because when Jack was speaking there, I was like typing down what I was going to write, and I've just realised I've put down Tory nonce.
Sorry. If only there was a term that we used to use in this podcast. It was done to death.
I'm going to have to put in brackets, idiot.
Yes. The second definition in the Northumberland dictionary.
Well, technically, I would say it's the first definition. The modern day synonym, I guess, is an add-on, a bolt-on, a delta variant, if you will.
Oh.
Expansion pack. Yes. Yes. Tory nonce, in brackets, no, not that like that. Not like that. Caught with aid, in bracket, yes, that is like that. Allegedly. Yeah, make sure you put allegedly on the Patreon post.
I hope that Mrs. Hancock takes him to the bloody cleaners. I hope she does. Every penny's worth gone. Go on, Mrs. Hancock.
Wow.
Get her done. Oh, what?
I'm just on the I'm on the Merriam-Webster definition of nonce. And it's very confusing. There's a lot of different things.
Let's run through the history of nonce.
Yes, the dictionary definition of nonce. Please say the first definition, Matt Hancock.
It just says the one particular or present occasion, purpose, or use. So like for the now, for the nonce, the time being, also an adjective. Occurring, used, or made only once for a special occasion, aka a nonce occasion. I don't get it.
What?
Is this a different? This is
like,
apparently some sort of like Middle English term.
Like you're holding a party. You're hosting a party, and
I'm having a nonce party.
I'm having a nonce party.
These specific, like these example sentences really aren't that. There we go. Cambridge Dictionary, though. That one's a person who commits a sex crime, typically involving underage. That's more.
No mention of the word idiot.
Well, this is just the posh boy dictionary online. It's not local dialects and that.
Language fascinating.
Yeah,
It really is.
Imagine seeing, at the time, a 70-year-old woman calling a 10-year-old boy a nonce. Because that was me going down to Woolworths with me gran when I was about 10, trying to get FIFA 2003, or whatever it would have been at the time. Me going, man, she's like, shut up, man, you nonce. Yeah, bloody nonce. I remember that from my youth.
That's good.
Thank you. Lovely. I miss me gran.
Oh,
Hall of Fame is done.
what a
Maybe
Hall of
forever.
Fame one.
Yeah, I was going to say, well, we had a good run on YouTube. Look at the last episode of the Cultaholic Podcast. Your three picks. Your three picks for the Cultaholic Hall of Fame this week are Resident Evil 7, not winning, but I had a good time. Mark Hoppus. Oh, God, I'm sorry. Mark Hoppus from Blink-182. And...
Tory idiot caught necking on
go.
with aid, allegedly.
Alleged Tory idiot allegedly getting on with his alleged aid. Allegedly. Those three picks are yours and yours alone. By going to patreon.com/cultaholic.
Can I just ask you both, when you saw that news this morning, did you also become overwhelmed with a sense of
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Schadenfreude.
Yeah.
Part of
Normally
my
be
life.
you normally would be like, oh, terrible for the family and whatnot, but it's Hancock, innit?
I was more kind of angry, like I was with Cummings because it was when I saw that it was during lockdown allegedly. Then I was like, oh, you cheeky, saying because we've been told for so long, don't leave your house, and you're terrible if you go and see your gran. And now they've been doing that, and I know we all knew that people were breaking the rules, but the people who made the rules to be breaking the rules is just it's so insulting.
That's good. I was just checking my moral compass was still pointing in the right direction.
No, what Jack said, yeah, I'm sure there are people involved, and there's the kids and the families and everything else like that, but I'm not thinking about them right now.
But go on, Mrs. Hancock, pull his pants down in the court of law. Take him
I was
very
going to say someone already
penny.
did, Ross. But yeah, allegedly. On three, we shall do an allegedly to end the segment, and we'll move on. 1, 2, 3. Allegedly.
Allegedly.
This is This Week in the Wrestling. It's this bloody week in the wrestling.
This week in wrestling. Start with SmackDown from last Friday. Rey Mysterio opens the show and wants revenge tonight for what Roman did to Dominic. The cell structure lowers around him. Roman arrives and gives Rey a chance to back out, saying what he did to Dominic was PG compared to what he'll do to Rey. Rey refuses to back down, knowing full well that SmackDown will be rated PG no matter what. And the match is on for later.
Roman's
later,
got the
Jimmy Uso-
zingers.
Sorry about that. Try and get all the Romans.
Roman's got the zingers, sorry. Yeah.
Aye, the turkey zingers.
Yeah.
The fatigue. Later, Jimmy Uso finds Roman backstage and admits he was right about needing to stick together. Roman asks where Jay is, but Jimmy says he hasn't heard from him all week. Roman tells him to locate Jay. It's a SmackDown side quest. Yeah, exactly. Your mission. Locate Jay. Yeah, it's all part of the EastEnders saga that we've got going.
More strong booking for Ronald Mysterious, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Is that the match accepted already on the social media or whatever? It's been announced it's happening on SmackDown. Yet he still demands Roman Reigns come out. And what's worse is Roman Reigns bows down to the real tribal chief, Ronald Mysterious. The booking
He's
of
the
Rey
real
Mysterio is getting beyond the joke now, I think. Apart from the match itself, obviously.
My weekly article on the website this week was about how Reigns is certainly the best part of SmackDown and probably WWE at the minute, but is it papering over some SmackDown cracks? So we'll just bear that in mind. Ross, what you've done there is you've done what people on Twitter do, and it annoys me, which is where they reply to the title of my article that I've spent hours writing and just answer the question that it asked in the title.
I thought it would rile you up.
All right, fair enough. Yeah.
Well, it's like the thing you posted, Ross, was that lad names himself John Cena, even though he's not a John Cena fan. And I didn't even read the article because I had no interest. But the John Cena fan who wasn't a fan of John Cena, who called himself John Cena, had a John Cena shirt on. I'm
drinker.
sure if I clicked it to explain that, well, after buying it, he wouldn't have got one. But
I just saw the first two words of the article were, a drinker has renamed himself.
oh yeah,
John
that was his
Cena.
occupation. That's right.
Yeah. A drinker, all in capitals.
We've all tried to
But it's a
downplay
hobby.
at some point in our lives. We've all tried to downplay how big a wrestling fan we are. And I feel like this lad may be trying to backtrack, despite having changed his name to John Cena.
Thanks, Joe. Kevin Owens. Sorry, that was a good point, but I had nothing to add to it because I haven't read
In
the
all
article.
fairness, John Cena.
Sorry, that was
is-
really cold-blooded.
In all fairness, John Cena is a strong name, and maybe he just didn't know. Maybe the Sun. I think it was the Sun. Don't buy the Sun. It was the Sun's article. Maybe the guy, the journalist at the Sun, bought him a John Cena T-shirt.
Or maybe it didn't even happen. Maybe. Coincidentally, the same time this mega blockbuster with John Cena's coming out. And coincidentally, that is how we got the Vince McMahon is rumoured to be buying Newcastle United story. I think it was the son of the star, but it was just because they're doing a tour and there's always these made-up stories that happen. And they will not go away. To this
story
day,
comes
every
back
few years,
yeah.
an American, whatever, dirt sheet writer will go, hey, have you heard this rumour? I'm like, what are you talking about?
And then the Chronicle runs on Newcastle United 11, and it's like
It's so funny every time.
Brock Lesnar in goal because he's huge. Yeah, it's just...
Big Show and the Great Carly at centre half.
yeah.
Yeah. Good times.
Jackson Riker on the right wing.
Oh, nice.
I've got it
Jack.
back. I've got it back.
Nice.
1-0.
Coming home. It's coming home. Kevin Owens teams with Big E to take on Apollo Crews and Commander Aziz in what I believe is Aziz's first match. Sami Zayn is on guest commentary and distracts Owens, allowing Aziz to hit the Nigerian nail for the win.
A
He hits him
teeny
with
tiny little Nigerian nail, by the way. A little woohoo. Little slipping in there. What?
Oh.
And we'll just let that one simmer.
Did he hit
There
him
we
with
go.
one?
That's enough simmering.
Did he hit
hits
him
him
with
with a
one after?
second after the match. Backstage, Owens demands a match with Zayn from Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville, and they say they can face him at Hell in a Cell.
I would have
Bit of a left turn there. Yeah, he did talk like Papa Lazarus. Right?
This will come into play later on, I suspect.
Certainly will. Bit of a weird change.
I'll tell you what, lads, I feel sorry for Commander Aziz because they wouldn't let him, presumably, take his jacket off. Which
Yeah.
not only means he kind of feel the benefit when after he's done the wrestling, he goes back outside again. But those those yellow things, those things you use to tie your curtains up that are on his uniform. I don't know what they're called. That's a descriptive term. Sorry if I'm offending anybody. But they kept getting in the way, and he was trying to do his punches and whatnot, so I felt a bit bad for him, being limited
He
by
looked
his
hot.
jacket.
He looked warm as well.
Well, he looked hot, he looked smoking.
In both senses of it, yeah.
Yeah, you said it better. I love the fact you brought up that. So much Northumberland on this podcast already. We've not even started the silly stuff yet. Yeah, I won't feel the benefit. Nakamura and Corbin have another singles match, this time for rightful possession of the crown. Nakamura wins and Rick Boogs crowns him on the stage. Corbin is absolutely devastated.
He was
in the ring.
gutted. He was absolutely heartbroken in the ring. What is Rick Boog's character motivate? Is he just a huge fan of Nakamura?
He's a
'Cause
huge
ruining
fan
this-
of rock music and Nakamura.
Okay, and Nakamura is the rock star.
Did you just say he was about to ruin something?
I'm saying he's ruining this poor man's life. This poor man being Baron Corbin because he's turned up on SmackDown and he's just bullying him. It's just
I expect
nasty.
he puts the vodka and the Charlie into SmackDown as Rick Boogs. Because everybody is there having a party. Pat McAfee on commentary especially. But I'm...
Oh, Pat definitely partakes in the partying, I should say.
Allegedly.
Yeah, Sonny, yeah, you're right. Rick Boog shows up and everyone's on pre-workout. It's fantastic.
But I hope this is the catalyst for Baron Corbin to shed the king thing. I think it's a nice way for Nakamura to get back, sort of what he was back in his New Japan days. Cause I remember listening to JR's podcast and Jericho's podcast, people going, WWE should sign Nakamura, it'll save professional wrestling. And then they did, and it didn't quite work as people thought it would. But Corbin needs to let that go, because it's been nearly 2 years. 2 years of King Corbin. Imagine if Stone Cold Steve Austin was a king. We wouldn't have a job.
No, we would. We'd maybe be covering like, oh no, there's no way that WCW could have survived this long without eating itself if it had won the war.
But remember King Ringmaster? How great a gimmick that was. King Chitty
Ring.
McFreeze.
Oh, the NWO would have it would be the size of a country by this point if WCW had won the war.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Vince would be doing a podcast called 50 odd weeks or whatever.
50, yeah.
Oh no, it was years. What am I talking about? Anyway, sorry.
It's all good. No, Boogs, it's good seeing Nakamura getting a push, but the highlights of his match are his entrance. Still,
Yeah.
so
It was they do they both got pretty movesets, haven't they? But it's the fact that we've seen it. I think that was the 5th SmackDown in a row that we've seen that singles match happening. Just sort of, yeah.
At what point? Because it was in the last 10 years, maybe a little bit longer, where maybe not that long, but whenever feuds in WWE used to be, will interact and then have a big match or 2 or 3. But now, if you're feuding, it means you exclusively wrestle that person week in and week out. And I don't get the point of that because it's obvious stuff. But by the time we get to the pay-per-view or whatever, we've seen that match 6 times with different stipulations and tag teams and stuff. And it just doesn't work for me. Don't get it.
Paper cracks Jack's article on cultaholic.com.
Cheers. Thank you.
Corporate synergy.
Yeah.
I like that. It's like AOL Time Warner. Bianca Belair cuts a standard babyface promo on Bayley. Ooh, that's a bit harsh. She says that Bayley's laughter reminds her of all those bullies who told her she'd never achieve anything. But she was stronger than them, and she's going to be stronger than Bayley on Sunday. Bianca wants Bayley in a Hell in a Cell match. Bayley arrives and they brawl, with Bayley getting the upper hand after using Bianca's hair. She poses with a belt, and all the Thunderdome screams become the same image. Again, they really like that little effect. So is this, from the big book of cliches, all right, want someone to get cheered. I was bullied. All right, cool, done.
There's no way anyone was laughing at Bianca Belair at school.
Yeah, no. Isn't there an entire build-up when she arrived in WWE? Oh, look at how great she was at everything in school ever.
Yeah.
Look at her do these hurdles like nobody else hurdled before.
That's what they're doing, Ross. They're going, ha ha, look how fit and athletic and talented she is. Ha ha.
Hong. That was me.
Yeah, that was Kevin Nash watching.
I've just had a flashback to HT Drake telling me he was a hurdler at school. Wow.
Was that a setup for a really bad joke?
No, HT Drake was just good at the hurdle. That's just a fun fact about everyone's favourite, about the John Cena of the Northeast wrestling scene.
That's right.
Maybe that's what the H stands for.
Hurdler the Drake.
Hurdle the Drake, like Sonic the Hedgehog. Angelo Dawkins has a match against Otis, accompanied by Chad Gable. Montez Ford is absent after Otis beat him down last week. The match never got started as Otis and Gable used their numbers advantage to beat Dawkins down. Mm-hmm. They certainly did.
Otis now is like Festus, but without the bell. And it's very strange to see.
Was it you, Ross, saying, I think you made the point last week that yes, it's weird, but he does, I'll have to admit, I have to agree with you now if it was you, that Otis does pull it off. He can be a heel. He's good. He's good.
He's a very versatile performer.
He is.
And the shape of his
like
beard-
Chris Eubank.
Yeah, I was just...
There's no spice with Otis these days, though.
No,
Because
there's not.
the shape of the beard, while it has been controversial and a topic that's been discussed at length on many wrestling podcasts, I'm sure, it does work, though, doesn't it? It does, it accentuates his anger in his face more so than having a nice padded beard. But Richard hit the thing!
Oh, baby.
That's right, everybody. I've came in early today.
Wow.
The double team discus clothesline from Otis into the German suplex from Gable to Dawkins, who sold it and made it look so devastating, is Ross Tweddle's move of the week. Go back and watch it. Fantastic scenes.
I've noticed that Ross has, so far anyway, from a very small sample size, quite a penchant for double team moves.
Oh, yeah. It's the synergy. It's like a dance, isn't it, professional wrestling? Like
Yes.
a dance. And
A
that
2
was,
or 3 way dance, in fact.
yeah, that was a devastating dance. That was like end of the night, there's a puddle of vodka cranberry on the dance floor, and you slip and fall and break your neck. We've all been there.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah.
Ross, whatever you've been drinking, if it is the vodka cranberry, please do it every episode.
That's it's Maffew. It's these. It's 10 milligram Tweddle making his comeback to the podcast.
Oh no,
10 milligram. I don't know what it is about
hard
these.
stuff.
Yeah, I'm on the hard stuff again.
God. Well, we'll get you that for like October.
Ross, I know that everyone's symptoms differ and stuff, right? But this year, my hay fever's been not gone. It's still been annoying and stuff, but nasal spray has really, really done wonders, honestly.
Has it? I've not felt the need to go that deep this year for some reason.
Okay.
But the air has been like soup this year more than most years for me. Don't know what it's been like. It's been like, you know, you sort of, I'm having to mouth breathe more than normal. Which is a weird thing to say. Because it's too thick. The air's too thick for me nose.
I'm sorry to hear that because I don't have hay fever.
That's fine.
A few things I don't have.
Enjoy that.
But I've noticed now that the older you get and hairier you get, obviously if you don't look after yourself, is the hairs in the nostrils. And I got one of those little nasal hair trimmer things. And then afterwards, you leave it a few weeks and you go back to it, you're like, oh, God, I can smell everything.
Right.
I can breathe. It's amazing how much hair you actually get down there, up there, depending on your perspective.
It is amazing as well because I'm in my late 20s now, and the longer hair out the nostril, which you see it in the mirror, and I don't have a nasal trimmer because I've not felt the need to get one yet, but no doubt that Manscaped, that's the one, isn't it? That all the podcasts use. Please sponsor us or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
That looks like a thrilling experience to use. One of those things, just going like.
You do that and you go, have I shaved anything? And then you look down and say, oh yeah, there's loads.
It was pointed out to me quite recently that my hair, but only on the sides, is starting to go a little bit grey in parts, and I'm like, whoa, how exciting! I know, yeah.
Is it not just because the rest of you is so tanned right now?
Thank you. No.
It's not just being blonded.
No, it's been not just this summer. It's been like the past year, I'd say.
Oh.
So then when I went home, I decided to look at my dad, and he's gone grey on the sides quicker than on the top, and I'm like, oh, this is my future. This. So I don't know what I think about that. Oh. Ross, what you also said?
You're like Paulie from The Sopranos.
I reckon I've got about 3 or 4 hairs on each side.
Yeah.
Which, yeah.
Oh, well.
It's happening. It's happening. We're growing old. At least we're not like my head teacher from school. My head teacher, Mr. Mitchell from Chattery Middle School in the early noughties.
Just outed him straight away.
He went grey. I think it was at the age of 17, I think he used to say. And he had like a luscious head of hair. A lovely sort of Eric Bischoff. You know, when Eric would let his hair go a bit longer and comb it over. A lovely, luscious head of hair, but it was snow white. It was fantastic. And he said, always used to say he went grey when he was like 17 or 18, something like that.
Well, at least you're used to it by then. There was a lad at my uni who I didn't really know, but he was 2 years younger than me. He was like a fresher when I was in my last year. And like, I've not got the best hairline or anything, but he was like 18 years old and it was bad. His nickname in the DOS team was Mr. Burns. And,
but he could grow a fantastic beard though, because that's how it works, isn't it?
He was clean shaven at the time.
Upside down head.
Yeah.
He was clean shaven at the time, but maybe he can now. I don't know. I felt bad for him, but he didn't care. It's what he was used to, I suppose. But oh man, yeah.
That's the game we've got to play as men, isn't it? How if it starts to go, how long do you persist, and then how quickly do you get it out and just take it off?
Don't know.
Yeah, because ideally you want to look really good before you start to do that. Like Cesaro, who was interviewed and talks about getting revenge on Rollins.
If we all looked bald, if we all looked like Cesaro, if we were bald, then no one would worry about keeping their hair. We'd be straight. Yeah.
To look like Riff Raff from Rocky Horrors. The
and Adam Pearce as well. Very good. Very rocks the bald look very well, actually. Adam Pearce, handsome man.
If you had to shave your head today completely bald, like Stone Cold bald, who would you be? Like which famous person? Because I reckon
What?
I would. Because I'm just trying to picture who he would sort of resemble as a bald person. I would be Matt Lucas, me, and that terrifies me.
That's me.
That's what scares me. It's not so much the being. You're right. It's the inability to grow a beard by the time I've got to shave it off, and that fills me with dread. I don't want to do that, but I can't grow a beard.
See, you bald look like Matt Lucas is one thing, because I think maybe if you're bald and you've got some bulk on you, you're all right. I'm worried I look like Gandhi, because there's just nothing on us. I'll lose 2 stone if I shave my head. And I need that.
Oh, lad.
So,
Oh, man.
shout out
Just
to
got
Gandhi.
flashbacks to the
Wrestling
is this the way to Amarillo music video?
Was he on
Gandhi's
that?
it. I'm sure Gandhi's on there. Give him a
Gandhi?
little Ric Flair.
Oh, it's one of the last things he did, aye. For
He was a huge Peter Kay.
yeah. Sorry, I'll call retirement for you, Peter Kay. I love Phoenix Nights.
Speaking of, there was the Scottish striker, was it Lyndon Dykes? Lyndon, might have been? I
Lyndon,
can't
yeah, something like that.
He did a bit of an aid in English. He shaved his head between the first and second group games. Did you notice this? No. It was weird. And they turned up, obviously, he'd only just shaved it that week, so the top of his head was pale. The rest of his face was really tan. It was odd. Sorry, Maffew. Sorry, Cesaro did a thing.
Oh, God, wrestling. Rollins interrupts and says he didn't come here to fight, just to talk. And he says Cesaro doesn't deserve an ounce of respect. By that way, certainly deserve more respect. In contrast, Cesaro says he respects Seth as a competitor, but shoves him out of his chair. Well, I'm glad we stopped talking about hair shaving and what people are going to look like for that thrilling bit.
It was the nicest put down in professional wrestling history, the way that Seth Rollins was saying it. I quite enjoyed his delivery here. I just came here to tell you to discuss me. With his smile. Lovely.
Great delivery there from Seth. Great to have him on the podcast, by the way. And then Roman faces Rey in the cell. Rey controls the majority of the match with the power of vengeance and various weapons. But Reigns comes back and takes control because he's the daddy. Roman powerbombs Rey over the top rope into the cell wall, puts on a modified guillotine, and Rey submits. Jimmy comes down to the ring to raise Roman's hand, but there's still no sign of Jay. Roman puts the guillotine on Rey again before wishing him a happy Father's Day, then the show. Tremendous.
A fantastic line from Michael Cole as well while that all was going on at the end there. He goes, Roman Reigns' gene of destruction has come out.
Oh, nice.
His gene of destruction has come out.
Gene of
His
destruction.
apple bottom jeans that he wears to SmackDown.
Was that Cole or McAfee?
Cole.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
That's the thing.
Pat would have said that his cervix of destiny would come out.
The cervix of destiny.
That's a reference to something Pat said a few weeks ago, by the way, because you watch this. You're like, what?
He's made Michael Cole so much more palatable. Michael Cole and Pat just seem to be having a great time commentating on the wrestling.
Which
They were
is weird.
stunning at Hell in the Cell. We'll get that soon.
Which is weird considering that McAfee hated Michael Cole and vice versa when he was wearing the tuxedo shorts. Yeah. So now it seems like they've got over that.
Imagine being Michael Cole for that, though, because it wasn't the story that Michael Cole complained about it to the higher ups, and the higher ups were like, "Oh, it's fine, don't worry about it."
Vince said, "I'm hip. They're cool."
Right. I can't believe he's wearing shorts in the summer. It's like, shut up.
Fred Flintstone when he gets married, damn it.
But it's all about who
John
you
Goodman and the guy from the Full Monty.
It's all about who you are. Because if Michael Cole had turned up to WrestleMania in tuxedo shorts, I don't think Vince would have been all right with it.
Vince would have wedgied him. Ripped the shorts in half.
Cole should have done that just to see, all right, Vince, I'm wearing shorts. Michael, get those shorts. But yeah, we think the Hell in the Cell match.
Yeah. 13 minutes it was from the ring bell to the end of the show, which I think was the big issue here, but to be expected on a weekly SmackDown, I guess. But I enjoyed the story of it all with Rey getting the weapons involved and then running away. It's just incredible what Rey Mysterio can still do at the age of 72.
Yeah. He's an absolute freak. The big moment when he powerbombed him over the top was cool as well. Dominic didn't save his dad, which is he still
He's
injured
dead?
from being... Yeah, okay,
He got killed, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
Got it.
It's a bit hard. No, it's like he should have hit it as a ghost, like in a Shakespeare play.
Yeah.
Woo, distraction finish.
Like Banquo.
Get the hologram back. A hologram of Dom. Just like Bray Wyatt and Dean Ambrose. Those were the days, my friend.
That's a cut-off point for Richard to now put a montage of hologram Bray Wyatt. Ugh. So yeah, that was SmackDown. AEW Friday Night Dynamite, which Steven Scotus, the super fan and lovely person extraordinaire, pointed out, no, Maffew, they're not head-to-head. Friday Night Dynamite ends before SmackDown or whichever. They're not head-to-head, so
But
I
there's still tactics involved, I would suggest, though. Like, SmackDown might have burnt out everyone on wrestling with Hell in a Cell. Like, throw them the biggest stipulation, and they won't care about Dynamite. You never know.
I think that if they did that, they'd be very upset because they would have watched the Friday Night Dynamites and gone, oh, they're not doing a lot, are they, right? Oh, it was a bit of a waste of a gimmick, wasn't it?
They're not doing a lot. The NBA playoffs will be over soon. We're in the semi-final stage now.
However, they did whip out one big gimmick. Ayo. Jake Hager takes on Wardlow in an MMA cage fight. Wardlow passes out in the head and arm triangle while flipping the bird to Chris Jericho. Hager goes to shake Wardlow's hand after the match, but Sean Spears attacks Hager to start a brawl. MJF arrives and attacks Jericho. Dino Malenko tries to break it up.
Oh,
so
sorry.
MJF attacks him too.
Dino Malenko.
Yeah. That's what Jericho would call him in 98. Yeah, Dino. And finally, Sammy Guevara arrives to make the save. First of all, what do you think of the cage match?
Crap.
Kind of boring, yeah.
I thought it was a shame to see Wardlow put in this situation, because watching that, and I don't know anything about MMA, I don't watch MMA, I'm not a fan of MMA, it was just clear to me that it was one person who knew exactly what they were doing, and Wardlow who didn't have a Scooby-Doo what he was doing. And it was a shame to see Wardlow, who, you know, he's got the look and everything about him. It's a shame to see him put in that sort of situation. It was nice to see him do a shoot Hurricane Rana, though. Shades of Total Divas Season 1 with Naomi. But this did absolutely nothing for me. Nothing at all.
Yeah, same. I'm not against the odd MMA-inspired match. Like, Maffew, when you used to go over to Germany, did you ever go to the Ambition shoot-style
all of them.
tournament? Did you? Well, they're good. That's how you do it right, I think. Or like the Bloodsport events. But this was a bit too, like, kind of slow and plodding for me. It felt like a real cagey intro to an MMA fight. And I don't want to see that in wrestling. I want to see wrestling. You know?
Right. Yeah, obviously, yeah, Ambition fights a flow with this stuff, but the first half of it, where it looked like, okay, how much your stuff, takedowns, okay, fine. And then they started doing stuff like the greatest hits in UFC, like the Superman punch off the cage, and it just looked like, oh, this is just a match in a cage now, right? Okay. And I think, yeah, you're right. If you're going to do it, you have to do it Ambition Bloodsport style and keep it like what it is. It would have been magnificent. But you're right. Hager knew what to do. Wardlow didn't. So this did no favors to him. And it was like watching Nick Cage versus Timothy Thatcher at Bloodsport, where you're like, oh, on paper, like, this is going to be so good. The brawler versus the grappler. Nick can't wrestle like that at all. Okay. He cannot. And in my head, he's like, yeah, he'll do all that stuff he got taught at wrestling school. I'm like, oh, yeah, about that.
Didn't Arquette take him down?
Yeah.
When he kind of freaked out because he cut him. I think Arquette just instinctively just takes him down. I was like,
collegiate takedown.
Yeah.
Nick Cage's like, what was that? So it just wasn't what you'd think or hope it would be. And then they did another brawl between the Pinnacle and the last 6 weeks. And Dino, they've done so much stuff now that Dino got taken down, and all it had was Jim Ross going, oh God, Dean took a bump. And it's moved on.
Jim, I don't know if it was Jim, but one of them shouted, a 60-year-old man with Parkinson's disease, how could you?
Oh, no. Did they?
Yeah.
Don't shout that.
But then they moved on. It was like, it should have been a much bigger thing, but they've got so much stuff happening. It was like, oh, Dino fell over.
I thought that call made it feel like quite monumental. Like, how could you do that to a 60-year-old man with Parkinson's?
I think it should be like a pose, like, Dean, my friend, oh no, the history. But it was almost like in the background, where it should have been in the foreground.
Are we all right with? I think I'm all right with it, but just checking. Because, no, I'm just saying, Malenko and Jericho were like arch rivals, but later on in wrestling, sometimes that can become like a friendship when they brought along for like a Legends angle or whatever. Are we all right with that? I feel like Malenko and Jericho should be rivals forever. I don't know.
It's been 30 years.
Okay, all right, fair enough. But when Rock and Triple H both came back to Raw backstage, and they just had a face off, and Stephanie was like, "Oh, you two." I was like, "Nah, they should hate each other forever. It's only right." I don't know.
I reckon Chris Jericho just realises he got bested with the whole... Was it Cyclope?
Oh, that's a fantastic angle. Yeah, Cyclope.
He got bested there, so he's just given up.
I love that match for the Battle Royal beforehand. Jericho's doing the ring announcements. Yes. They're so funny. He's like, Silver King, if he gets 2 more wins, he'll upgrade to Golden King.
What's it then, Marty Jannetty? He's going to rock, never stop.
One of them's Villano 4, I think, and he goes, and finally Villano, and then he drops to one knee and goes 4. It's so good.
Was it Lenny Lane's? Lenny Lane, who still has my Loverboy tape. Give that back. Anyway, Darby Allin faces Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky in a handicap match. He loses. Darby Allin is as stupid as Sting, if not more so. Because he said they challenged him you can team up and have another match, but it's gonna be you teaming up with anybody but Sting. And so Darby went, all right, I'll just team up with myself then.
Yeah.
You are dumb, Darby. Dumby Allen.
He's not that dumb, though, because he brought the zip ties in. And I think there should be more zip ties in professional wrestling. Which is quite a sinister sentence upon hearing that coming out my mouth. But within the context of this matchup, I thought it was a nice little detail.
Yeah.
This is fine. This is another angle that's carrying on. Orange Cassidy takes on Cesar Bononi.
Hoss
There's a
toss!
lot.
Hoss toss! That was
Hoss toss.
the note I've got written down there.
Oh, good.
Who
If you
shouted
written
Hoss
that down,
toss?
you might have forgotten him.
It was when he must have yeeted him over the top rope or something. I can't remember exactly what happened. When he went out the outside and then they started putting makeup on it and stuff and hairspray and stuff like that. Yeah, one of the commentators called that a Hoss toss, which I quite liked. Yeah.
Okay. Bononi is a big
Jim
lad.
Ross, but hey, don't toss the horse or whatever. That's some wacky catchphrase. There's a lot of silly interference from Bononi's pals, but the best friends finally get involved to help Cassidy with his comeback. Cassidy wins. Yeah.
It wasn't the best.
It was another thing that happened.
Yep.
So Bononi's mates, that's Ryan Nemeth. And is it JD Drake?
JD Drake, yeah.
JD Drake, yes.
Ryan Nemeth and Cesar Bononi I can see as this pretty boy thing, but JD Drake's like the very opposite. He's like he's like Arn Anderson.
That's
he's
the
he's-
joke.
Yeah, that's the joke. And he's
Okay.
losing weight. He's losing a lot of weight to become a pretty boy. I don't know if you saw the transformation pictures, but it's inspirational.
Fair enough. Okay.
Yeah. Yep, another stable to care about. Kenny Omega confronts Jungle Boy backstage. Michael Nakazawa cheap shots him from behind, but Jungle Boy fights back, so the bad guys escape on a golf cart. And Kenny Omega quotes, is it Dr. Claw? Or whatever, the bad guy from Inspector Gadget. I'll get you next week, Jungle Boy. See, I'm alright with Kenny Omega purposely playing a prat. But then, like at the pay-per-view, Kenny Omega comes out and the crowd like, yay, Kenny Omega! I'm like, ugh.
I feel like I don't want my prestigious, unbeatable, multiple promotion world champion to be like a Saturday morning cartoon villain. I know that it's Kenny Omega and he is a Saturday morning cartoon villain though. It's just, sometimes I feel like it's a bit too wacky for me sometimes. I don't want to sound like Jim Cornette or anything, you know? I don't know. What do you
Bloody
think?
nerds.
Right, that's
I'm enjoying Kenny Omega, me.
okay.
I'm enjoying it. I like his knuckle sandwiches and he's all up in that ass, to quote him what he was saying during that promo there. I'm enjoying those little bits. 69 me Don, etc. etc.
Oh yeah, that was weird. That
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Matt Hardy and his stable lock Christian Cage in a cage. Or behind a fence, maybe.
I wasn't sure what it was.
No, I don't know what I'd call
How
that.
describe it?
It was the WrestleMania X7 backstage area.
Yes, it was.
That's what I was going to go my favourite reference. When it took, Big Show 20 seconds to set up the lock to keep Kane out, and then Kane 3 seconds to take it down. Matt tells Christian he should retire again, and Matt will even pay for it if he accepts. He'll pay for the retirement. Right. Matt warns Christian that if he keeps coming after him, he'll put him on the shelf permanently. Permanently. I gave that all the effort it deserved. Matt Hardy and Christian are feuding.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Cool.
Can we get Bubba Ray Dudley involved at least if we're going to do this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Devon Dudley, and you can go, look, can people stop reporting stuff that I say?
Oh yeah.
Remember that?
What did he say again?
He said he was gay.
Yeah, the way he said people had, some reports allegedly had reported that he was allegedly a lot more ill or physically unhealthy than what he was making out to be. For he did that, made that one appearance on Raw, and he said, "Oh, these dirt sheets, they say this, they say that. Oh, I came out of the closet a week ago, and no one talked about that." And then a bunch of websites reported that he was gay for real, because the source was, of course, Devon Dudley. So it was just, anyway. God, I remember that I was streaming Earthbound at the time, and I couldn't play because I was too busy laughing. Cody Rhodes and Brock Anderson beat QT Marshall and Aaron Solo, with Brock getting the pinfall. So the feud right now is Cody Rhodes versus the Apple Boys, and now we have Brock Anderson getting inserted because I guess we just need stuff happening at all times.
I'm on QT's side. He's right what he said last week. He said that nepotism is ruling Cody, the Nightmare family. And it is. He's got Brock Anderson in. And Brock Anderson, which we speculated would happen last week, didn't even have the decency to turn on a Rhodes. I don't know.
What a greenhorn.
Yeah, it's pathetic.
I thought Brock Anderson, at the grand old age of 23, which apparently he is in real life, was absolutely fantastic. I would say Brock Anderson puts the fun in fundamentals of professional wrestling.
God.
Textbook stuff. His DDT was great, all that stuff. But then you got QT Marshall, who puts the shall into shall I change the channel right now because I'm sick of seeing QT Marshall. Sick of him. I know that's the point, but I'm sick of him. He's naff. He's rubbish. Get him off. Terrible. Boo.
One of the best angles they did with Marshall's like pre-tape stuff, he was all serious. And it's like, oh, this might actually go places then. I like this. It's just all gone down the toilet since then, where it's like Marshall's just like an even bigger idiot or a Doylem or some other North London phrase that we're not going to say again.
He's like if
Kenny Omega.
If Alan and Charlie of 2.5 Men became one person, isn't he? He's got the fashion sense of Charlie, but he's more like Alan, isn't he?
I've never really watched 2.5 Men.
I used to flick it on back in the day.
Fair enough. I like the theme tune, which I'm not going to sing now. I don't know. I don't know if we're allowed. I'm scared.
Oh, God.
I talked over it. It's fine.
Our deep voices could get caught there.
Oh, that's
I'll be
right.
alright.
My baritone. JR does a sit-down interview with Andrade, who says he's here to win titles. He says that he aligned with Vicky Guerrero because they have a great connection, both being part of big wrestling families. He tells us they have a surprise in store.
Debuting it? Surely, got to be someone debuting.
Ooh. Who could it be?
Out of a debut to set up another debut.
Braun Strowman, because they've got a wonderful connection.
That would be great. Yeah, because they're from a wrestling family, because you had that kid.
Well, Zelina Vega would
Make
sense.
Oh,
Yes. But then what's the point of Vicky? She's the mouthpiece for Andrade.
Many people have said that over the years.
No, not what's the point of Vicky. No.
I'm kidding.
That's what Eddie actually shouted up the ladder. What's the point of it? No, he didn't.
Yeah. I enjoyed the way Andrade spoke here, though. He's very, I got vibes of Captain Jack Sparrow.
He's a smooth
But
man.
he was like, I'm Andrade. Oh.
As Captain Jack Sparrow.
He was very sort of very cocky, very sassy, very like, oh.
Very, is fey the word? Very fey. Is fey the word?
What? I've never heard that word.
No, I don't know if fey. Am I thinking of something else?
Dictionary. Fair.
He was
Faye
a bit
from Steps.
Yeah, he was a bit of a work-shy fop, wasn't he?
Thank you.
Faye, giving an impression of vague unworldliness or mystery. Kind of.
It was very fair.
Very fair.
I don't think that's what I was looking for. I think I was thinking of a different word anyway.
I like that though, Faye.
I think that's more of like a Dungeons and Dragons term, isn't it? Like the Fae realm. So I think I'm totally off the. Sorry, Maffew, carry on. Sorry.
No, you're doing good, Giles. I love you.
Andra Faye.
Faye. Oh, Andre. I called him last week. Speaking of words, Penelope Ford beats Julia Hart, no relation, and keeps a submission locked in after the bell. So the Varsity Blondes run in to save her. Miro runs in too and gets in a brawl with Brian Pillman Jr.
Can you address him properly, please, Maffew?
Oh, it says Brain Pillman Jr. here.
No.
That's not what I was referencing. I wanted you to address.
Oh, sorry, I thought that was a pun I'd missed out on. That's why I said. Oh no, Jack's destroyed of the typo. I thought that's Ross meant. I'm sorry.
No, address Miro properly.
Oh.
He's God's favourite champion.
God's favourite champion.
I'd like to thank God for the ability to beat up people. Oh.
That's
He
good.
called himself God's favourite champion on the way down. But I was shocked at how little Julia did. I think that was the first match she's had, is it, on Dynamite? I think that's the first time I've seen her do the wrestling.
If you're in wrestling, I'm assuming it's her real name, because why would you choose the name Hart? It must be her real name, mustn't it?
Yeah.
Do you reckon she's got Wikipedia at this early stage in her career?
I'm not sure.
Wasn't Bret Hart's first wife called Julia, or was that Julie?
Julie.
And Julie. And we know that because he kept on complaining about her in his book. To the point where it's become a meme. One of the many Bret Hart book memes.
Oh my
What?
God. Her birthday is November the 9th, 2001.
Oh, get out, Julie.
Julie, her real name
Julia.
is Julia, according
Julia.
to Wikipedia.
But yeah, I'm surprised that they've got this name, but I guess it's like me going, what? And Anderson's teaming up for Rhodes? Only little people care.
Julie Hart is the one who tells off Triple H on Wrestling with Shadows, isn't she?
You knew about this, Hunter.
Yeah, and he's like, I swear to God. Swear to God.
HBK, I don't know.
Yeah.
And then years later, I did know something. I was just scared of Julie. That's a very convincing HBK. So, yeah, that all happened. And in the main event, Matt Jackson teams up with the Good Brothers to take on Eddie Kingston, Penta, and Frankie Kazarian. The bad guys win after Nick Jackson sprays Penta's eyes. Like the action, just a match. Just an alright kind of episode of Dynamite.
They're still not explaining that Rick Knox has been paid off by the Young Bucks on being the Elite, which is a thing that has happened, but the commentators still don't know. And if you don't mention that, it's still making Rick Knox look like a terrible referee, and I don't understand it at all.
I don't know why they did that. Like, again, I'll say this again because I said a few podcasts ago. They said ages ago that there's relaxed rules because so many of the indie tag teams they've got wouldn't be able to do a proper normal WWE style tag team, and especially with the Lucha dudes as well. With the whatever, don't do that 5-second thing. That ain't gonna work here. But then they went, oh no, Rick Knox is being paid off, and what I assume was just a little joke on being the Elite. But now, because that was more recent than the thing they did years ago, I think some people are like, no, that's kayfabe, right? And that's one of the worst things about AEW. Where you're like, can you say something for seriously and make sure that we all get that and understand that?
Yeah, because I got put right on a video where I was like, oh, Rick Knox is just a terrible referee. And people were like, no, if you watch Being the Elite, Ross, which I don't, you would see him get paid off. But
are things in Being the Elite canon?
Yeah, but I thought that was a joke.
Yeah, same.
Is that not a joke? It's Being the Elite. It's not...
Yeah.
Well, the fan base of both Being the Elite and AEW are not taking those little things as jokes. They're taking them serial.
Okay. So it's supposed to be real, but they don't mention it on Dynamite. That Rick... Oh, forget this, you know.
Cancel Being the Elite.
It's the algo. Are you cereal? I'm cereal.
super cereal. Will you mention that weird promo that Vicky Guerrero did backstage where they've now set up as Britt Baker, by the way, who is still the women's champion. She's now going to have a tag team match with Rebel, taking on the team of Vicky and Nyla.
Yeah.
Because Tony Khan owed Vicky a favour because she brought Andrade El Idolo into AEW.
Yeah, Andrew.
And that favour was not to get a title shot for Nyla. It was to get Vicky in a tag team match, which is not a wrestler. Ooh.
She's going to win at WrestleMania.
Oh, God.
I believe. I think, she won the match for her team.
Yeah, she had the tadpole splash.
Yes, she did. Oh.
That was going to be a frog splash.
They played it for laughs. It should have been a nice moment, that. Hitting her.
She was a bad person.
Oh, yeah. But she hit her husband's moving that. Ah, never mind.
Again, wrestling's weird, isn't it? Referees being paid up and not being paid off. Oh, the winner of one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. Boo! But you know what? That was just the prelude to Hell in a Cell. But the second set of Hell in a Cell matches this week. Pre-show Natalya beats Mandy Rose. Any thoughts?
Didn't see it.
I saw it. It was quite it was quite mat worky and quite grapply. And then Natalya remembered that she is a heart and won with a sharpshooter. So yeah,
that's one
not
thing
like
I saw.
Other heart on Dynamite.
That's the one thing I saw on the timeline. People saying it was like a proper hard-hitting matchup. Kapow forearm, kapow elbow.
I might not have been paying much attention, but I would have described it as more of a technical affair. But maybe there was a striking bit that I didn't pay much attention to.
Oh, very fair.
No, I don't know if "fair" was the right word.
It was a very fair match. Yes.
Yeah. It was rife with elven power. I think that's what fair means. Anyway.
Wow.
I know, very Lord of the Ringsy.
Yes.
From what I read just before.
It sounds it. Thank you. Bianca Belair beats Bayley in a Hell in a Cell match to retain the SmackDown Women's title.
The finish of this match was sick.
It
the
put
KOD
hairs on my chest.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
Not my head. But yeah, I thought this was a good match. That wasn't necessarily a good Hell in a Cell match.
Right.
Because there's so many of the bleeding things nowadays that some of these matches end up being good matches that happen to be in a cell rather than a very good Hell in a Cell match. And this was one of them. think it was good as Bayley's last Hell in a Cell match, but that was like sweet. But this was good enough for me.
Yeah.
I thought it was quite innovative in places, with the little bit where she did the flipping bomb thing onto the side of the cage, and then the stuff with the kendo sticks. And as we said about the finish there was quite a lot to like in this matchup, I did think.
When she got the kendo sticks out, and Michael Cole went, "It's 2 kendo sticks taped together." Was that too early, or were those? Because she got them out when they were taped together lengthways, but were the first 2, I'm guessing, taped together thickness wise?
No, it was 1 kendo stick, but Michael
so Cole
called it
just
2.
jumped the gun. He just thought that spot's coming up.
Yeah, and then she got the 2. Yeah,
And that's why Bayley yelled, "Shut up, Michael."
Yeah.
which is weird though, because obviously going off WrestleMania, and there was another match since then where there was a finish where Michael Cole called it wrong. It must be clear that Michael Cole is one of those commentators who just doesn't want to know what's going to happen. So, seeing that he presumably did know what was going to happen in this match, maybe they've told him, "We can't have any more of this, Michael. No more that Sasha Banks and Bianca finish at WrestleMania and that other one." I can't remember which one it was since then. So yeah,
maybe it's
how
that
weird.
Yeah.
I think Michael Cole should just get it wrong every week.
No, because he's being good at the minute. I like Michael Cole and Pat. Fantastic on commentary.
Pat's been the ginger beer to spruce up Michael Cole. Seth Rollins beats Cesaro with a roll-up. Says here, poor Cesaro. I thought the match quality was all right, but it just feels like we're going 2 steps back, considering where Cesaro was. We already did this thing at WrestleMania. It was a cheeky roll-up rather than anything cool or whatever. And so we're just back to doing Rollins versus Cesaro, I guess.
Yeah. Quite a cool roller, I guess.
Belonged on SmackDown, this match for me. I didn't feel like a pay-per-view affair, which is harsh to say when you've got 2 stalwarts of the squared circle in there like Seth Rollins and Cesaro. But it was a bit underwhelming, but all the same quite pleasant.
It was. I thought it was a good match, but it's just sad booking, isn't it?
It's like a slice of buttered toast.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Alexa Bliss beats here we go. Alexa Bliss beats Shayna Baszler whilst also showing off her new hypnotism powers. At one stage, getting Nia Jax to hit Reginald. It'd be great if Nia Jax just says, "I wasn't hypnotized. I'm just sick of Reggie."
No, Nia loves Reggie now. As we'll see on Raw.
As we'll see on Raw, yeah.
Yeah.
I love you, Reggie. Honestly,
they're boyfriend and girlfriend, aren't they? Or maybe just F buddies. No, that's right, isn't it?
Are they?
It is. I was just surprised to hear you say it. Like,
I saw it more as like she sees him as like a cute little friend, but are they actually kayfabe?
Oh no, I think whether Reggie wants to or not, he's in a relationship with Nia Jax in kayfabe at the moment.
Oh, that's troublesome.
Whether he wants to or not.
Troublesome.
don't say it like that. So, what do you think of the match?
To be honest with you, lads, going just simply off what we've seen beforehand, I did not mind the hypnotism at all. I thought it was fine. I like Alexa Bliss during the match was more aggressive and doing more moves and doing a bit more just hard hitting stuff, and I like that. I like that character shift while she was doing the wrestling inside the squared circle. But the hypnotism, I don't mind it, just based off what we've seen before. It could have been a lot worse, but it just leave you asking the question: why didn't she do it just at the start of the match and save herself a lot of work?
I did mind the hypnotism, and I'll tell you why. Shayna's not good at selling attempted hypnotism. She kept going like Shayna had hay fever is what it was like. She was like about to sneeze. She kept looking away and like doing that. I think if Shayna had got the selling of the hypnotism down, then maybe I would have liked this match.
You sell the hypnotism very well.
Yeah.
Help! I'm being hypnotized. You should have yelled.
But Nia's selling of the hypnotism spot on. So
So what can we deduce from that then?
That Nia is a better wrestler than Shayna Baszler, I think, is what we can tell you.
You heard it here, folks.
Folks.
You heard it here, folks. Jury sure, way I.
Fuchs. It's almost like a fjord. You heard it here, fjords and rivers.
In the fjord.
So yeah, that happened. Sami Zayn beats a weakened Kevin Owens after Kev was attacked by Commander Aziz on SmackDown.
His little
Another
nail.
odd one where these two could have a great match in their sleep, but the emphasis was on Commander Aziz and Apollo Crews doing all the damage. And then Sami Zayn getting a clean victory over Kevin Owens because he was battered like a cod dinner. And then Kevin Owens tweeted that he's taking some time off.
There was a bit in this match, and I enjoyed it because, it's Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, but it was just another Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens match. But there was a bit where they just started actually punching each other.
I like that.
I feel like one of them might have caught the other one a bit hard, and the other one was like, all right then. And they just went back and forth a bit. And then Kevin Owens won because Sami Zayn got a bust lip.
The Canadians, that's how they say hello.
Yeah.
I like the fact that Sami Zayn won, just based off what happened on SmackDown, because, years gone by, that what happened on SmackDown would have been ignored come the pay-per-view, so I like the fact it wasn't. Sequential. Is that the right word?
That is exactly the word, Ross. It's very fey.
Very fey, yeah.
So, Rhea Ripley gets herself DQ'd against Charlotte Flair by hitting her with the cover of the announce table. Charlotte says that Charlotte does, what's the thing we always say about Charlotte, Jack? She does the Triple H. Oh, yeah.
You got me,
kid.
I think that might be Ross who... I don't know if that's my bit or if that's Ross's, actually.
Oh, I was associated with you.
Someone's.
Sorry if it was you, Ross.
You can have it if you want. I don't even think it was me. Was it?
It might be a collective podcast bit.
Yeah. Good one, kid. Yeah.
I'm proud of you, bitch.
It's a weird one, guys. Like a lot of the show, the match was fine. It was all right. A lot of people seem to take a lot of issue with Charlotte Flair doing some kicks and having a bit of a Raji. And like, she's missing kicks. I'm like, I wasn't that bothered about it. But if you cut some stuff out, it can be quite, what's the word for, powerful in a bad way. It's very fake in a bad way to take something out of context like that. Because in the match, it looks fine. But if you take that bit out and put it on Twitter, she's punching ghosts. The kicks were weird because they were worked kicks to the air, though. She was stomping with the other
blind rage.
Yeah, I guess.
But
like Nia Jax, she's like, I'm mad with anger. Sorry.
The next night on Raw, in a normal singles match, Randy Orton put somebody through the announce table and it wasn't a DQ.
Yeah.
So how can this one be a DQ? Referee's discretion, my bumhole.
No. Rick Knox got paid off on Hell in a Cell kickoff. But no, she got hit with a bit of it. I mean, it's a rotten finish. I know, I'm trying to defend this. If you get hit with a bit of it, that's a DQ. But if you put someone on or through it during the match, that's fine. Most of the time. Yeah.
Bollocks.
Yeah, it was bad. Yeah.
No, he's on NXT. So this is just the first match of a few, so we're gonna have a rotten finish. And I kinda like Rhea going, yeah, I did it before you did it to me, which is alright, but
the build, because I was out, because heading into the match, I thought that Rhea Ripley was the de facto baby face. But then obviously the Thunderdome man was piping in the booze at the end there, deservedly so, because she cheated to keep her title. They're no good.
Thunderdome.exe was just booing the finish. Boo. Like, no, come on, program. Even the program was rebelling and going, but that doesn't make any sense. Randy Orton does table spots every... Shut up! Bobby Lashley retains the WWE title against Drew McIntyre inside Hell in a Cell. He does so with a roll-up. Good week for roll-ups. After MVP grabs Drew's legs for the distraction. I like this match. I like these two beating the hell out of each other. And I don't actually mind the roll-up. And a lot of people the distraction finish. Because they're going on the road soon. Last time Drew was in front of a crowd, Bobby Lashley was getting as many cheers as Drew was getting. If not, maybe more so towards the finish when he won at WrestleMania. They need to do something to make Lashley a bad person and be booed, and Drew to be cheered. So I was all for this. It was kind of all undone the next night on Raw anyway, but at least this makes sense in the long run. It's like, we want Drew to be cheered. We'll screw him over at Hell in a Cell. That's fine. They've tried so much though to get Lashley booed. Like, they took the Hurt Business away because they were too popular and good, and then they made him really cowardly in the build-up to WrestleMania, where he put a bounty out on Drew McIntyre. That didn't work. So now that didn't work because only a few weeks before that he beat Miz. So it's like, yay! Yeah. It's like, no, this wasn't the reaction we wanted. Then, now he's got the lovely ladies. They try to make him into like a Ric Flair sort of character. Oh yeah, we hate lovely ladies, don't we? Boo! Well, I do. But you do, but that's just... I hate lovely ladies. I wish I'd never introduced the term for these women as lovely ladies. It's really awful.
Where's that from, lovely ladies?
I thought it was Father Ted.
Something, yeah. That they all have lovely bottoms in Father Ted.
Is it Kevin and Perry?
Might be.
Lovely ladies.
Yeah.
Oh,
I was so Dave Father Ted, but it's like he's trying not to be sexist. He goes, "Wow, he's got the lovely bottom." Oh, and he obviously panics. Goes, "No, but they've all got lovely bottoms."
Someone compared me
yeah.
to Kevin or
The lovely
Perry
lady.
the other week, and I can't remember who it was.
It's got to be Kevin, surely.
I'd hope so, but I
Don't
don't
ask
know.
for jam sandwiches.
Yeah,
Yes, Miss Patterson.
going to Ibiza with your mum and dad. But
On the green list now, Wayne Lineker.
Hey!
Hey!
Oh!
oh,
I watched a video of a day in the life of Wayne Lineker the other day once that news hit, just to see what he lives like.
What's a day in the life of Wayne Lineker like?
So I went through the video. He lives in a hotel when he's in Ibiza. He stays there for 5 months. He lives in a hotel. He has the same breakfast every day, which is ham and cheese omelette. And he drinks like health juices and stuff. Then he takes the bloke doing the video to his car.
Bull
And he's like,
semen.
then he takes oh no. Then he takes the young whippersnapper, it's a boy, doing the video to his car. And he's like, "Come on, let's go for a drive." They get to his car and he goes, "Oh, this is embarrassing, I forgot about this." The car's got a sickle down the side. And Wayne Lineker says, and I quote, "Yeah, I took some girl out the other night for drinks and she was sick down the side of my car." I was like, "Oh, God, Wayne." That's a bit grim. And then he spends the rest of the video like at his club taking pictures with club goers. That's a day in the life of Wayne Lineker.
Creepy, eh?
Yeah, he's a very creepy man. Yeah, incredibly so.
But the Hell in a Cell
He's
match
the-
I really enjoyed.
In a way, Wayne Lineker is a great success story because he left high school. He made a big point. I left high school at the age of 14, worked on my family's fruit and veg stand, had my own business and thrived and all that. He doesn't mention, partly down to the fact that his brother was one of the greatest English strikers of all time and probably helped quite a bit. But, you know.
I like that he's the Julia Hart to Gary Lineker's Julie Hart.
Yeah.
It's the evil version, but somehow still likable.
I
So
wouldn't
yeah,
say-
the other highlight of this match was Drew getting put through a table by Bobby Lashley, and some mysterious hands who live under the ring getting pushing
yes.
some table bits out.
Kevin
I wonder
Dunn.
why this was. Was it something to do maybe possibly with a crash pad being landed on and then getting taken in the ring and then put back out?
Would you rather he took a bump straight on the floor, Maffew, eh?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, yes. Rather a 50-year-old man take a hell himself. So great.
I didn't mind that. It's just Kevin Dunn, innit? Kevin Dunn made a little whoopsie, going to the wrong camera too quickly or whatever, I guess. I guess that's who we should blame.
Yeah, I don't mind them doing crash pads in these pre-film, pre-whatever thing. If you get away with it, fine.
Yeah.
It's just when they don't get it, the master of production himself, Kevin Dunn, had to go longer than half a second without cutting to the wrong camera. Bless him.
Things look better when the camera doesn't cut during the move. I don't get it. It looks more impactful as well.
Yeah.
I think that might be the issue because I'm sure I've said this on the podcast before. One of the people who was involved in the World of Sport reboot told me because ITV's shooting of that show took the biscuit, so it did in comparison to what WWE do in terms of cuts. But they did it because it was on at a certain time of the day where kids might see it. So the camera cuts constantly during the moves, stops the kids working out how to do the moves. That's the thing behind it.
Okay.
So there we go, kids.
Shall leave
kids,
that without comment.
Stop watching wrestling, kids. You're ruining it for the adults.
I'd be good if they start watching classic World of Sport. They're all doing like Texas cloverleafs to each other on the screen. No, the half Nelson, like what Steve Austin does. So yeah, that was Hell in a Cell, a weird pay-per-view where there were some good matches, but the booking was all over the place, or just carrying on feuds that were like, all right, this is just part two of many.
That's what I felt. It was just like, this is the pay-per-view we've been contractually obliged to put on, but we're waiting until fans get back in the arena before we do anything monumental.
Yeah.
Hell in a Cell is now a midway point and not the finishing line. Monday Night Raw, though, which I thought was actually better than usual.
Can I try a sentence on you lads?
Oh, go on, Paul.
Monday Night Raw this week or this weekend, Friday to Monday, was better than Dynamite.
Let's have a look. I think you might have something there, Ross. But
When have you ever been able to say that before? That's a question.
if there was ever a time to be better than Dynamite, it's during the Friday Night Dynamite thing. So yeah, let's have a look. Lashley and MVP are in the ring with the lovely ladies. Oh, it's already a point ahead of Dynamite. And MVP wants to make a toast to Lashley's win. New Day interrupt and throw actual toast into the ring. And God help me, I didn't realise that was the joke until Jack sent me the notes last night. Oh, that's why they were throwing... Right.
Okay.
Thank you for explaining that. Lashley isn't worried about Kofi, who challenged him to a title match at Money in the Bank. Lashley accepts, but wants to face Xavier Woods tonight. Woods agrees, but it'll take place inside hell in a cell, which has lost all its impact the last few days. Yeah.
That's what Bobby Lashley did.
He did do that. So
just
that
like
was
2002.
better than who's the comparative then? So the champ then is Kenny Omega. Yes, this was better promo than Kenny Omega. Yep.
Xavier Woods' promo was sensational.
Yes, he wrote.
Once he started being he was silly, and then he was serious.
The way he kept telling like MVP and Lashley to shut up was an extra bit of sparse on it, I tell you. A bit of sparse. It was calling them toxic in their mentality and old and meatheads and stuff. It was all very good stuff. Said he was a Renaissance man. Take that, Undertaker, with your video game bashing.
I was going to say this is Woods standing up for the modern day locker room. I was going to say nerds, but nice lads. Woods is standing up for nice locker rooms, and I think that's a good thing. I hope he wins.
Yeah, Xavier Woods is who I want to be when I grow up.
Yeah.
So. AJ Styles were in the Viking Raiders backstage and mocks them. It's always funny when AJ Styles mocks someone with that really strong accent.
Slaps the turkey leg out of there.
Hey, raided any good Vikings lately? He heads out to the ring for a Money in the Bank qualifier match against Ricochet, but loses after the Raiders distract him by attacking Omos at ringside. Just in case you missed that, sorry, you didn't miss Raw, we have to say it again. Ricochet beat AJ Styles. This
was a night of shocks, I've got to say.
It was a night of shocks. But then you take a step back, lads, and you think, sure, the tag team champion should not be booked in that situation to begin with, because the tag team champion should be defending his tag team championships, not in the Money in the Bank match.
Yeah.
Okay? It's just a shame that Ricochet he can't make you care in WWE with his talking. Because the wrestling's sensational, but when he's talking, I nearly fall asleep.
Yeah.
Can faces have managers and it's not cheesy?
Yes.
Then he needs a manager.
Yeah, get Jimmy Hart on the phone.
Yeah.
On the megaphone.
Here we go, guys.
Yeah,
it's Ricochet.
Do the flip.
That'll get him over. Everyone love that.
Yeah, so good for Ricochet.
Because of the time that he was at his peak, I can only imagine Jimmy Hart on the wrong side, on the hard cam side of the ring, cheering on people. I can only imagine managers in that position. Have you ever watched WrestleMania 1 recently? Not only is there like a manager for every wrestler, but half of them stand in front of the action. It's so good. Oh,
good times. So, yeah, Ricochet advances in the Money in the Bank qualifier. Eva Marie explains that she caught a cold last week. She must have that vaccine. Oh no, wrestlers don't believe in them.
And she went to work.
I know.
Reckless.
Was.
And she had to find a replacement for her match. So she introduces the unknown mystery debuting wrestler as Doudrop, who doesn't look pleased. She's like, no, that's not my name. She words that, goes, no, my name's Piper. Shut up, Doudrop. And they face Asuka and Naomi in a tag match for the Money in the Bank qualifier, because there's not that many women. Asuka and Naomi win when Doudrop jumps down off the apron and abandons Eva Marie. They already can't coexist because Eva Marie kept on wanting a tag when the opponent was down and made Doudrop do all the work. I was all right when it's been shown on TV now, like, your name is Doudrop, and they go, oh, that is a stupid name. It's a stupid name that's supposed to be stupid. But I don't think that's as stupid as them pretending that. Who is this mysterious person? Who is she? It's only there's like a network to show her stuff on. I don't know what that's about.
Yeah. I think that Doudrop is stupid. I don't think the woman herself is stupid. But I think I think the woman herself in character is an idiot and a fool.
Oh.
Because she had a chance to qualify for the Money in the Bank ladder match. And she sabotaged it herself. You got to grit your teeth and just get through that first match. Then you can batter Eva Marie in the Money in the Bank ladder match. Something's wrong with my cadence today. I don't know what's happened.
Jeff Hardy there.
So I was going to say Jeff Hardy.
Or a YouTube title with the capital letters in one We do that as well, to be fair.
Doudrop did this.
Yeah.
But
I thought it was great, mate. Because obviously when it all, it's the bloody Twitter, isn't it? Twitter ruins wrestling because we all see that. Oh, was it Sean Ross Sapp going? I've heard they're going to call Piper Niven Doudrop. And everyone's going, oh my god, how can they think that's a great idea? And just that sort of conditioning makes people not watch, I guess, and not see the full storyline. And in storyline, it makes sense. Even me going, oh, I'm better than you. You're my lackey. You're Doudrop. And then Piper getting frustrated and turning on it already. I'm seeing it as Monday Night Raw's 2021 version of the Nightmare Collective.
Okay.
It started. It wasn't going to work. They're getting rid of it as quick as they can. I quite like it.
Fair enough.
I can't see your
Mel.
point, though, Jack.
Justice for Mel, though. Where's Mel? From the Nightmare... Matthew, do you remember Mel?
What?
No. Remember
Mel
Mel
who?
from the Nightmare Collective?
C or B?
Mel. She was the one with the short hair.
She got shaved
She
by
has like a shaven head
Awesome Kong.
to join the Nightmare Collective.
Oh God, yeah. Well,
Yeah!
I forgot about that until you said it. Yeah, what happened with that?
Yeah, I want to see Mel back.
Question. Have you ever seen Mel and Luther in the same place at the same time?
No. No, I haven't.
That was bloody terrible, that. Anyway, let's move
Luther
on.
did
No,
a bit
I like Jack's. No.
Luther did a bit of a shout on Twitter, I saw, during
Cowabunga, guys!
Yeah, he's such a surfer dude, isn't he? The caption was like, don't know what I expected Luther to sound like, but it certainly wasn't this. And the other one that I saw as well, this was almost a Hall of Fame nomination. Did anyone see Sue Young or Suzanne on Impact this week? She's angry at her opponent and she goes, "You professional wrestle me right now," which I think is a fantastic thing to say. Professional wrestle me right now. Very good from Sue Young there.
There you go. They say Twitter ruins wrestling. Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville call Rhea Ripley the ring and admonish her for getting deliberately DQ'd at Hell in a Cell. Rhea claims she was just doing what she's seen Charlotte Flair do many times.
It's true.
And hang on. Why haven't I go with me? Charlotte's done that loads of times. Hang on. What's this all about? Charlotte arrives and says that Ripley is smarter than she thought, kid. But she'll destroy her next time. So Sonya Deville books a rematch for the Bank. And that was it.
I lost a lot of respect for Adam Pearce during this segment.
Oh.
Because it's obvious why Sonya's on the side of Charlotte, because they're in cahoots behind the scenes still, if that's still the storyline they're going with. Because it was at one point, but it's sort of gone a bit quiet, but I assume it's still there. So that makes sense. But Adam Pearce getting uppity at Rhea Ripley for doing what she did? I'm not about that, Adam Pearce. I lost some respect for him.
When you do that to a man like Adam Pearce.
Exactly. Well, we do that to a lady like Rhea Ripley.
Yeah.
He went down in my estimation.
He's
when
one
he
of my
said that.
estimations. We get
He's going to go
reversal.
to Middlesbrough.
That's right, the 32nd week in a row. Keegan promo. We get a reversal of last week's photo shoot angle with Mandy and Dana in the training ring and the tag champs doing a photo shoot. It says here, it's great. Cool, I fast forwarded. What was it like?
So I had problems with the last one, so I was hoping that this one will make things more clear. But for me, it's actually just muddied the waters a bit more. But what do you think?
It is not clear who are the baby faces and who are the
Yes.
heels in this feud.
Yes.
But then again, this is 2021 in the world of professional wrestling, and we have the shades of the grey, which Cody Rhodes likes to speak about quite a lot, doesn't he?
I think that Mandy and Dana are the faces. Because...
They're not, man.
Okay.
Not with Tamina there.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
I think they're all heels because I boo whenever the women's tag division is shown on Raw.
It is crap in it. Since Bayley and Sasha dropped them, that was the one good point, that second reign that Bayley and Sasha had. But then since then, it's just gone back to what it was before.
They got rid of nearly all the tag teams as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a tag team division with no tag teams.
I did it in my article this week on the website.
Did you?
I worked out how. I know. I worked out how many women are on the SmackDown roster who are actually active at the minute, and it's like 4. It's honestly really bad because Sasha's on holiday, Sonya's an authority figure now, and Reckoning hasn't yet been debuted, even though apparently she's on SmackDown. Then you've got Natalya and Tamina, who I don't really count because they're basically Raw superstars now. They don't really appear on SmackDown as much as they do Raw. And then you've got Carmella, Liv, Bayley, and Bianca. And I think that's it for SmackDown. It's really desperate. It's a really bad state of affairs. But Natalya and Tamina are basically Raw superstars now because there's no tag teams for them to face on SmackDown. There's no tag teams on SmackDown, and there's one tag team on Raw for them to face.
It's going to be this way until August the 30th when the draft happens.
Yeah, about that. Yeah,
that's going to be a long couple of months.
Yeah.
Lot
Send
of
them NXT.
A lot of Carmella versus Liv.
Yeah. Randy Orton faces John Morrison in a Money in the Bank qualifier. Just copy paste what we had for the AJ Styles Ricochet thing because Miz squirts Orton with the dripstick.
Yeah.
So Riddle scoots down to chase him around the ring, and it was rather like Newcastle upon Time an evening with all these people, idiots, running around on their little skates.
Nice, right? The scooters.
Yeah. I ruined that completely because I don't know if there was a scooter and a skate. Just around the ring, this all distracts Randy, who shockingly loses to Jomo. Riddle later beats Drew McIntyre to oh wait, sorry, that was part of this. Go on.
Well, yeah, I was quite shocked that John Morrison beat Randy Orton in 2021. It was just quite... Is this the biggest John Morrison result ever?
Well, he became 5-star wrestling champion.
Oh, yes, of course. Yes, sorry. I forgot about
Johnny
that.
The first ever 5-star wrestling champion. 757 days.
Johnny
I think he beat AJ Styles for that accolade, possibly.
Was it not in Newcastle or was it Liverpool?
Oh, was that the qualifier for... Yeah, maybe.
No, he was already the 5-star champ because he won at the tournament.
Oh, we got on board too late, Ross. Yeah, he was already champion when we
I always thought the Newcastle show, the one where I didn't go, Jack went, didn't you?
I went. I thought you were there. Sorry.
I wasn't. No, because someone made me a promo from Grado saying I've still got that on my
computer.
Aye.
Yeah, you weren't there.
You didn't come to see me. How dare you? Etc. Etc. I thought that came before the tournament in my head, but obviously I'm wrong.
There was 2 tournaments.
2 tournaments.
Oh yeah, when we say tournament and 5-star, we have to clarify, don't we? No, they did the one in
Edinburgh.
The one that
you're right.
Yeah.
You are right, mate. I'm very sorry. It shows what I know. Wasn't I doing that?
What?
5-star.
It was
Jomo beat AJ Styles in Newcastle.
That was the title match.
Yeah.
I saw the first ever 5-star wrestling champion.
Yeah, so that was in the 2016 one. That one wasn't filmed for
wow.
reasons. But then they did the Dundee one that Jomo won again.
Yeah, he walked into that
tournament. He defended his title
tournament.
throughout the entire night.
Yeah.
He defeated Rey Mysterio in the final.
I walked into that tournament as the champion. I regret not going to that show.
The best part was, apart from AJ Styles getting called away from us mid-interview to do a run-in because the promoter had forgot, but the best part of that show was that they'd advertised, I believe this is true, allegedly, but I think it is true. I think that they'd advertised AJ Styles versus Rey Mysterio, which is a huge main event. It was like one of the biggest indie matches you could ever have. And what we got in Newcastle was the AJ Styles Rey Mysterio contract signing for the match in Leeds the next day.
Yeah, the way they did it, because it was a 3-day thing. Newcastle, then Sheffield, then Liverpool.
Sheffield, that was it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So they were treating it like it was 3 weeks, like, this is it. Like, it's watching Raw, then SmackDown,
yeah,
NXT or something.
But it's not.
And they're like, you guys are going to travel down to Sheffield to see this, aren't you? And tomorrow, and I was like, no. What? We're going about.
Got work in the morning.
Yeah, so they just did that was the thing. AJ Styles versus the thing. And that was the build up to it. Which, of course, you can do if you have things like a show or a YouTube thing and didn't show any of it or record any of it or do anything with it. Belief begging. It was the last thing AJ Styles did before signing with WWE.
I'm not going to say this is true because I'll get sued. But allegedly, has anyone heard the story that 5-star wrestling is like a front for like money laundering?
No.
Anyway,
No, I haven't heard that story. It's not true.
Me neither. I made that up.
It's not true.
Should we maybe edit that out?
This
I
is
don't
fan
know.
fiction.
Yeah.
Fiction.
Aye, it's fine.
Jack just
it
likes
looked
writing
like
murder
it was
mysteries.
a money laundering thing, but it wasn't.
I thought it was involved with. I can't even.
No. You know what? Let's move on.
I tell you what, lads, the Starship pain from John Morrison to Randy Orton on this week's Monday Night Raw was sensational. The way he stopped. It was like I was watching The Matrix. It was like that old video game, Maffew, where he would do the finishes and it would just sort of go slow motion in midair. I don't know what it was called. That video game
Bullet
in the wrestling.
Time. Oh, sorry.
In the wrestling. No idea.
Slow-mo Jomo. I remember it well. 64. Yeah, no, I agree. This was it was exactly the same as they did earlier in the show, but it was for the right reasons, because it's a lot more interesting than these guys being in Money in the Bank. Don't see Orton or AJ Styles in it. Doesn't work for them. And also set some stuff up later on.
God, I really
exactly
enjoyed...
what you're supposed to get with Monday Night Raw.
I
Fine.
really enjoyed the opening to this match. Because it was they were working the arm, I do believe, and it was just two old lads having a game, just battling it out with a game of physical chess, and it was just a joy to behold on all counts.
Yeah.
But Randy Orton can have no complaints about Riddle's involvement, in my opinion. Riddle being out there didn't distract Randy Orton enough to lose the match. I know he got pelted in the face with some wah, but still, he was having a go at Riddle, wasn't he? Poor Riddle, with his stash of burgers.
Well, we'll find out.
That's what he keeps in the backpack, his stash of
burgers. Yes, of
burgers.
burgers,
His secret stash, dude. It's burgers, right?
Man, I'm sick. The problem is, as well, as we'll find out in a sec, but the problem is, as well as ongoing legal issues in the real world, and his very irritating kayfabe character, he's putting on some absolute bangers. Like, he's putting on some great matches, man. It's
the complexity
irritating.
of wrestlers, isn't it?
So annoying.
Wow, such a great match. Shame about his private life.
That's why
50% of all wrestlers.
You just follow all of the wrestlers' dogs on Twitter. I followed on Instagram. Sorry, I followed them. I don't know if it's pronounced. I don't want to. Shayna Baszler's dog has got a weird name that I'm still not sure how to pronounce. Is it Isis?
No.
Oh my god.
No, I'm not even joking.
Ross.
No, I'm not even joking. It's search it on Instagram.
I'm not searching ISIS on Instagram.
That word plus puppy. It's a weird name. Just go on Shayna Baszler's Instagram and click on
Jack's having a look now, and he's going to show us the results on the webcam.
I'm telling you, because me and my girlfriend have been having deep conversations about what the pronunciation of that word could possibly be.
Oh, yeah. It's ISYS. Isis.
Ooh, baby.
Yeah.
There you go. How do you pronounce that word? Because it hasn't always been spelled that way. It was, I'm sure it was spelled a different way, which made it more like the terrorist organisation. So she's changed the spelling to me.
We'll have to. WWE can't trademark it.
So Shayna Baszler and or her dog are watching this podcast. Can you please clarify? But what a fantastic dog. Shayna Baszler and Nia took on Bliss and Cross in a tag team match.
Well, thank you, Ross.
Sorry, the Riddle and Drew thing I'd shoved onto the end of the...
You did. You threw me off. I'll do that bit then. Riddle later beats Drew McIntyre to qualify as well. Another big upset, but against an opponent weakened from Hell in a Cell. Randy Orton is unamused by Riddle's victory because Riddle's won something and Orton hasn't. So Riddle's like, "What's up, bro? You can talk to me." And Orton should have just said, "Don't you have an ongoing lawsuit right now? Why are you getting the push?" And he didn't say anything, and we're not going to say anything either. But
I reckon he might.
Go on.
I reckon he might win Money in the Bank. I know everyone's saying Drew will win because he's lost the stipulate. He can't now have a match with Lashley as long as he's champion. I think Vince will be able to resist giving that briefcase to Matt Riddle.
God, what will he keep inside his briefcase, lads?
I know.
He's got his backpack for his burgers.
So that's why I'm hoping...
Lawyer bills!
That's why I'm like, anyone but Riddle, because I can't do months and months of Riddle promos with the briefcase. I can't.
I thought that was a ding-dong battle to end them all, though.
Yeah, it was good, yeah.
To quote
it
Pro
was,
Evolution
but
Soccer.
I don't get why everyone else would get these hoo-ha victories. But Drew McIntyre, who they're trying to push harder than they've pushed anybody, loses clean.
Because he was knackered from Hell in a Cell. He was... You know, see his back, they made the scars on his back like the main point of the match. Now he was selling the back all the time. I thought I was fine. It's sequential.
It is. But I think I think Drew's push might be a bit... I could be proven very wrong, and feel free to clip this, everybody, but I think Drew's push might be over.
I think it's time for him to have a bit of cool-off time there, Jack the Jobber, because he's getting weird as Drew with all this...
Yeah,
He's obviously just got Sky Plus installed at home, and he's discovered the Discovery Channel or something like the History Channel.
I don't think I mentioned this in my notes, so why don't you tell us what Drew said in this week's episode?
Well, over the past few weeks, he's been referencing famous... Well, I say famous, I've got no idea. Historical Scottish things, like the man in the cave with the spider, and then William Wallace was last week. And then this week, he whapped out Churchill, not the dog. That would have been fantastic if he was just done there going, "Oh, yes, Bobby, I'll get you. Oh, yes." It was Winston. I can't remember the context of him mentioning Winston Churchill. But maybe he was down in the trenches or something.
Not surrendering, yeah. But like...
I actually missed this. Did he actually say what you brought up?
Winston Churchill, yeah.
He got a bit Churchillian, which, if there's one thing the Scottish people love, it's the English. So I don't understand what they're going for here.
Pritchard on his podcast in 10 years' time. Wow. We try.
I was going to say, well, he brought up some guy called Gordon Brown, and no one knows who that is. Check me up. Check me up. What would Gordon Brown sound like if he was doing If he was talking about Steven Singer, or whatever the public podcast has turned into. Who are you kidding? There's no way Bruce Pritchard's done a podcast the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, well, that's what happened, and then that match was good. The reversal from the Claymore to the Bro Mission was, tell you, the Tackers was unbelievable.
Unbelievable Tackers.
But then, just get back to the point, I think it's time for Drew to have some time away from the limelight. Get back to what he was, because this new McIntyre, where they're forcing him to be this cringy historian, it's not it, Chief, as the kids would say.
No.
Drew McIntyre's British History Bit of the Week.
Where will he go next week, though? Because like the canvas apparently is blank. Because we've been from Scotland, we've been to England, Wales,
the Valleys. Oh my God, he's going to start talking about the Troubles.
Do you remember that goal Mark Hughes scored against Barcelona in the Winners' Cup final?
He'll start. If he's going around all the different countries of the UK, he will then. He'll do a bit of Tom Jones next week. I reckon he'll sing Sex Bomb. That'll be good.
You just say it. You think it'll be any way?
Sex Bomb.
That's right. Like famous British person Tom Jones.
Yeah. I should point out that if he's going to talk, the Troubles thing was a joke. I hope he doesn't. God. Yeah. God. I hope he doesn't. Anyway, yeah, moving on from the Troubles.
Hell in a Cell match.
Hell in a Cell. No, not yet. Nikki Cross is now a superhero and teams with Alexa Bliss to face Shayna and Nia in another Money in the Bank qualifying match. Bliss hypnotizes Reggie and tries to get him to slap Nia, but he stops at the last second and they hug. Nikki callously dropkicks them mid-hug.
She does!
And cradles Shayna to win the match. She's a super villain.
She's a dick, yeah.
She's a super dick. Well done. And I was one of these people who saw this and went, oh no.
On Twitter, was it?
No, on Dwee's like, Shayna, sorry. Nikki, sorry, I'm used to saying Shayna is ruined. Like, Nikki Cross is now a superhero, like posted by WWE. And I went, oh nah. It's just a bad week to be a Scottish woman in wrestling. And then everyone's like, no, it was her idea. I'm like, she wants to be a superhero. She wants to be this uplifting character. She wants to ignore the past few weeks of her beating people in a few... Well, that's fair enough. That wasn't going anywhere. That's fine. This outfit's rubbish.
I think it's charming. Endearing.
What, you should wipe your bum with it. Charming.
I wish I had something like that to wipe my arse with. Look lovely. I think it's a deft touch from Nikki, personally. I was saying this to Jack the other day. Deft touch. A Dimitar Berbatov gimmick.
No, I'm familiar with deft touches.
Yeah, because Vince McMahon's apparently long had this long-standing penchant for a Mighty Mouse character in his wrestling. He's tried it so many times down the years, and that was my first thought when I saw Nikki. Well, not the picture, because again, this is another example of Twitter ruining wrestling, because my first exposure to Nikki Cross's brand new gimmick was that screenshot that everyone took from the start of her promo where she was waiting for a cue. So she looked a bit gormless, because everybody who waits for their cue always looks a bit gormless, and with the mask and stuff, it wasn't the best look. But you watch the promo and watch the actual show, it's an uplifting gimmick, isn't it? And if she's going to give it her all the more power to her. Go on, the wrestling.
You know what, Ross? I was about to disagree and say it was really bad and everything, but I'm going to give it a chance now because of what you've said. So yeah.
It is weird because I've seen people. I think the Botch guy posted something as well and be like, "Oh yeah, Nikki, you rule, go for it." I'm like, is it just me, or
Matthew,
if this came out that it was Vince McMahon's stupid head, stupid idea, that people would be all out of this like a pigeon on chips.
It
but
does.
Now Nikki Cross says, "No, it's my idea." We're all going, "That's great, Nikki."
No,
the idea could go places. Could be an uplifting gimmick and all this stuff. The outfit looks a bit cack. I'm not going
Now-
to turn my back around
I think
and
that's
ruin my
on-
integrity for likes.
That's on purpose,
should
though,
do.
isn't it? The naffness, is it not? I thought that was a bit on purpose.
Like as if,
Intended
as if Nikki Cross has made this outfit herself.
Yeah, she's a bit like,
Right.
oh.
Oh,
If she came
Now-
up with a bloody...
That's actually a good
suit
point,
of-
Ross.
A suit of armour, like Iron Man, like spent billions of... I'd be like, Nikki, you're just showing off, aren't you, Nikki? But she's gone to the Sunshine herself and just made it herself. I think it's quite endearing.
you know what? Wait, stop. You know what? Actually, that's actually a really good point. Oh, no.
It's like Batman.
Damn it, Ross, you actually made it. Yeah, I'm expecting it to
I
look
love
like Iron
Batman.
Man.
I love Batman, mate, but when you peel everything back with Batman, Batman is a show-off. I've got all this money. I've got too much money. I don't know what to do with it all. So I'll make myself a superhero, will I? I'll fight the crime on behalf of the police, will I? I'm Bruce Wayne. I'm a show-off.
Damn it, Ross. You know what?
No, it was
Jeff, we're going to say something, but
no,
you know what? You turned me
Because it was
around.
my
Yeah,
point, Matthew!
no, Ross said it.
No, I said it.
He just said it now. It's on the podcast.
No, I
Look,
literally just said it. If you go back.
I can't go back. We're
Stop
recording.
interrupting me. Ross, who said the point?
I don't know. You did?
Thank you, mate. Cheers.
Damn it. Okay,
Because
well, that
I'm
being
sorry,
said...
because it was just I was trying to chime in like 5 times, and you kept going, no, that's a really good point by Ross, and I was thinking,
Chime in now.
no, it's fine, it's fine.
Chime in now.
Oh yeah, I was about to
Well,
actually.
Jack, that's a good point, like, but...
Yeah,
Sorry, that was the joke. That was the joke. I'm sorry. Go on, Jack.
I was about to agree with Matthew, but I'm not sure now, because I thought if it wasn't Nikki Cross and she comes across really, really nice and everyone likes her, would everyone actually be like, what's this? Maybe we'll just have to wait and see how it goes. She's in Money in the Bank, so we'll see. I'm sure she'll fly or something. I don't know.
That'll be it. We'll be like, oh, it's a good gimmick. It could go places. And she just takes...
Oh, yeah, that's
across.
Yeah. To be fair, though, if it's like that Impractical Jokers skit where Joe Gatto is playing the genie and he's just getting spun around like a washing machine, I'd be on board for that, and she's just flying through the air. That'd be a fantastic bit of television. I don't know if anyone knows what I'm on about there, but yeah.
Don't, but you described it so well. I'm sorry for
Lads,
interrupted you, Jack.
if it
but
was
it's
Ro-
not often
if-
I change... Sorry, go on.
If it was Ross who actually said it, I'm going to be so embarrassed. I'm praying now that it was me who said it. This is high stakes now.
Oh, yeah. That's what it's all about.
I'm scared for this going live. Please.
But it is a good
please.
point, though. It's not often that I change my thought. Like, yeah, someone says to me, goes, yeah, but have you considered this? I'm like, no, I hadn't. Oh, that's actually a really, really good point. Yeah, it's like, no, I've been spending all my millions of dollars I've earned from
but they
Nikki
did it
Cross Inc. to make this super... no, it's Nikki Cross. She's on the road.
They did it with me at What Culture, though, and it didn't work. They were like, you wear a hat, we'll get you a hat. And I was like, all right. So they made me a hat, or they ordered a hat. And they deliberately made it as if like a child had made it. And I was like, well, I don't wear hats that look like I've made them. Maybe you want to put like a sports looking logo on there. And I remember, I won't name names, I remember the person on like 2 or 3 separate occasions told me, we think it would be quite good if it was like childish looking though. So the hat turns up, right? It was the crappiest hat. It had like, it had Jobber written on the front in basically Comic Sans. And it was absolutely dreadful. And we spray painted it pink when Martin Kirby came around and everything got turned pink. So that was the end of the hat. We
It was
never
like
sold
a
it.
backwards B for one of the jobs.
It was almost that. It looked like it had been scrawled by a
God,
child.
that would have been so embarrassing to wear back then.
Yeah, can you imagine Ross having to put that on and
I
walk
know.
around in
Yeah.
ridiculous gear like that? Ugh.
How did you get out of it, though? Because I lied, barefaced lied when they wanted to dress me up in all sorts of different stuff week on week on week.
Oh,
I don't know
big
if you
Ross,
were-
man.
You remember that chat?
Yes,
Where,
I do.
and Lewis was in there. Lewis House, who now works for Cultaholic, who was saying, "Oh, you should dress him up like, I don't know, name any wrestler who wears a small pair of spandex."
Tatanka,
That'd be
wasn't
funny.
it?
Yeah, see the fat lad and small. Yeah, that'd be so degrading and fantastic.
Well, I
Lewis,
think
like,
he
yeah.
was. I think he was. It wasn't his idea. I think he was egging on the conversation, knowing.
Funny,
Yeah.
wasn't it? But I lied, say because they bought me a full Big Boss Man attire, blue shirt, truncheon, sunglasses, hat, the lot. I look like a stripper. And they bought me a shirt which was perfect size. It fit perfectly, but I said, "Oh, Matt, sorry, that doesn't fit me." So
But it was perfect.
couldn't possibly do it.
He wore it to Pop World that night. It was perfect fit.
How did you get out of it then?
The hat.
Yeah.
Oh, they admitted it was crap when it turned up.
Oh,
the
fair
quality of it was so bad. Yeah.
but the £1.29 crowns, they were perfect. Off Amazon.
Good time. So you know what? Yeah, Nikki Cross. There's hope for a left.
It is.
That is the game. Let's see where it goes.
It's good as well, though, because like we always hear this stuff about wrestlers in WWE, especially getting forced to do stuff they're not comfortable with and stuff they're not invested in and stuff that's someone else's vision. But this is Nikki Cross's vision, so let's see where it goes. Let's not write it off just yet. Let's give it one more week.
You know what? If they start doing Adam West stuff, and oh no, it's Alexa Bliss and her spooky hypnotism. Ew, ew, ew. Luckily, I bought my Nikki Cross hypnosis deflector glasses. Yeah, I'll be all for that.
Sock. Pow.
Yes, they do. They do all these cool ideas now. They get out of Thunderdome, but yeah, they'll just start dancing. Yeah, go, Nikki. Backstage, Monso asks Jackson Riker for advice. I imagine it'll be just do the complete opposite to what I do and say. Riker tells him never let the enemy escape, which is why he's having a strap match of Elias next week. Oh yeah, that's happening.
Why would you advertise that?
They should lie and say, yeah, that's happening on AEW Dynamite.
Yeah. Is that not the least appealing matchup ever? I don't know if it's just I hate strap matches. I think they're crap. But then to put Elias and Jackson Riker in a strap match, I'm not watching that. Well, I am because it's my job, but...
I've just realised when you've said it there that it's a strap match and not a bull rope. I was quite looking forward to it when I thought it was a bull rope match.
No, that's Marshall on the tour. Another heart-stopping affair, I'm sure. But Mansoor thanks him and goes to leave. It's like, yeah, bye. But bumps into Ali, who is angry that neither of them were given a chance to qualify for Money in the Bank. He says that if you don't get the opportunity to climb the ladder of success, you have to build your own. And Mansoor goes, who are you again?
I think it was Monster on Twitter who was like, why is my run on Raw essentially being like in my career mode now? Just walking backstage to these different people.
God, I forgot about Mustafa Ali until the segment. Is that bad?
Yeah, no, it's not bad.
That's the thing he did. Oh, him and Mansoor been doing stuff on Main Event, a show that we always cover here on the podcast.
So was Karrion Kross. He was on Main Event.
Oh, was he?
I thought this was weird.
What?
Yeah, he was.
Karrion Kross has had a televised... Well, I don't know where Main Event is aired in the US and whatnot, but he's had a televised match. His Main Event debut was against Shelton Benjamin Maffew. And for his entrance, all the bells and whistles were stripped away just to prove Adam Cole right, essentially. Scarlett wasn't there. The lights weren't doing what they normally did. When you see the silhouette at the start, looks like, bloody hell, he's a big boy, isn't he? It was all stripped away. He had his NXT title around his waist, and he just walked out of the ring like creative superstar number 5.
Like Bob Buchanan, yeah.
Yeah, it was so weird. Like, why would you do that? Why would you strip away everything that makes him what he is? It's weird.
That's so... Even by the standards of NXT going to WWE, that's so weird.
I don't know if Jack can tell, but on Slack last night, Tom put that in the chat. And I said, like, why would you strip everything away? And Justin put the quote, which...
Keep on talking, please.
I forget what the quote was. Justin, our friend and writer, our comrade, said, it's Main Event. You don't wear a glamorous gown to McDonald's. And this wound me up, this did, Jack. It's his bog standard entrance, and they've took half of it away.
Yeah.
Never mind a glamorous gown.
I don't know. I feel awkward about shouting at Maffew before.
Can you not hear you?
Feel like we can talk about that now. Oh, has he got his headphones in?
I don't know.
Damn it, he does, doesn't he? Oh, man.
Doubly awkward now.
Yeah.
It's
right,
fine.
well, Karrion Kross's entrance was... Who else was the NXT person? Has he got... Hello.
Oh, pull me earphones out.
Who else was the other NXT person?
Was it Bronson Reed who was backstage? I don't know if he had a match.
Yeah, all right, okay, that was
Oh,
it.
yeah, someone else, another man had a match, didn't they?
Someone else on NXT had a match.
Yeah.
On Main Event, yeah, sorry, yeah.
Oh.
But just
then... Oh, sorry.
Sorry, go on. I was
coming and rudely interrupt everybody after having a nice discussion. And then Bobby Lashley beats a Valiant. It's got a bit of words here in this week's podcast.
Thank you.
Xavier Woods in the cell.
After
the match, MVP locks the door and Lashley puts Wood in the hurt lock while Kofi's unable to help from outside. Like Shatner in Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan.
I've only ever heard people shout Khan, but I don't know the context. Does that apply to this match?
No.
Okay.
The bit where it does that... By the way, there's a lot of Star Trek films. If you have to watch one, make sure it's Star Trek II, Wrath of Khan.
I've seen clips of the one... No, that's Superman. Damn it. Where there's the 3 people in all black. and they can
they
create
put
like, create like a whirlwind with them in a triangle. Yeah, that's
Superman
Superman. Okay, fair enough.
It's easy to get the two mixed up, I guess.
Okay.
But I can tell you the context of Khan, but I think we bore people. But
Okay, so
yeah.
Lastly,
so the match. What did you think of this, Jack?
good match, but like you were saying before, it didn't need the gimmick of Hell in a Cell to be a success. What did you think?
I thought it was weird. A bit weird in just how it was structured. Because obviously Drew was... The main point of his matchup and why he lost was he was selling his injuries from Hell in a Cell. Whereas Bobby was completely fine and just dominated Xavier Woods apart from a teeny tiny little flurry at the end of the match. Which was a nice elbow drop through the table. I enjoyed that part. But yeah, it was a little bit weird in how it was structured, I thought. But Billy had a nice quote. What's his name? Billy who?
Billy?
On commentary.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
I don't know what his
Smith.
name is.
Jimmy Smith?
Jimmy Smith.
Is it Jimmy Smith?
Billy?
I've been calling him Billy.
Billy Jean on commentary.
Billy Jean on
You
commentary.
Billy from the wrestling.
Saying
Is it
Bobby,
Jimmy Smith?
He was saying that Bobby's got boulders on his back, on his shoulders, all over his body, which I thought was inadvertently a fantastic
Dr.
quote.
Seuss. Jimmy Smith was an American jazz musician whose albums often appeared on the Billboard magazine charts.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
him.
That's the
him.
one.
Hell of a change of careers, yes.
Yeah.
That's one of his songs, the Boulder song. And then won the charts.
He's got shoulders on his boulders on his back. Oh, God's sake.
That's pretty alright, Jack, actually.
No, it wasn't. Don't pretend.
Jimmy Smith sings the tune.
Who could forget this guy?
Yeah. Did you happen to see the man with the boulders on his shoulders? I think his name's Bobby Ashley. I'm not sure. I just started working here a week ago.
He's got two boulders between his legs. He's got two more boulders. I'm dying. NXT happened as well.
Oh, God.
Yes, it
Did.
I don't want to see the world. Adam Cole opens a show and is angry at Regal and Joe after last week. He says that they told him he could pick his opponent tonight, but he refuses and calls off the match.
I'm not doing it. Yeah.
And he's interrupted by Carmelo Hayes, and says he is ruthless aggression and slaps Cole.
Yeah.
By the way, was the ruthless aggression slap really a big thing, or is this a retroactive thing that we keep on hyping up like it was the mother of all debuts? I remember it being nothing when it happened.
He did nothing for months, didn't he? As just
He
normal
did with Billy
John Cena.
Kidman.
Yeah, and then became the Doctor of Thugonomics a little while after. But
After a Halloween skit.
I'm sure we'll get to know Carmelo a bit better over the coming weeks. But to me, it's just another bloody wrestler who's good at doing wrestling with kick pads on. Just another one. Another fantastic wrestler.
So John Cena in 02 then. Yeah.
I hated that. I've actually written down I despised his sell of the Panama Sunrise. The full-on handstand that he did. I don't want to sound like an old man yelling at some sort of cloud in the sky, but come on now. A full-on delayed handstand like that.
Do you... Because I never liked the rock sell of the stunner. I felt
Did you not?
Nah, it ruined my immersion a little bit.
No.
This handstand took all of the immersion out of it.
I can't think of it off the top of my head, but...
He needs to have a little ding-a-ling with War Geordie Pack to see how you disguise the headstand. And not do a full-on handstand where you can see the handstand. Yeah.
Like the DDT at WrestleMania X8 that is it Chuck Palumbo takes? The Hardy Boys DDT, and he completely handstands it.
It's a classic Adam Pacini handstand.
To be fair, I wouldn't have had that man down as someone who could do a handstand. So fair play. Aye.
Yeah, not at all. Not at all. He's all the wrong shape for it. How?
Just all limbs, isn't he? All limbs.
Tony Hawk's like 6'4" as well. I would have thought.
Is he?
No, he's
Yeah,
not.
I think so.
Surely not.
And I would have thought that skater boys were all like dinky little short lads, you know?
They are
Frankie
basically
Dettori.
jockeys, aren't they?
Yeah, like Frankie Dettori.
Tony Hawk height.
6'3" it says on here.
What a big boy.
I know. Get him in the Fed.
Crazy.
Yeah, Tony Hawk's tall.
Is Adam Cole a babyface on NXT now?
I don't know. I'm
If you
gonna
ask the crowd, they say yes.
No, he's not. No.
Yeah, but he had the chance to pick any match he wanted, and he was like, no, I don't want to pick. You can pick. Like, well, if you were here like Adam Cole, I think still is, Why wouldn't you just pick like the worst wrestler ever?
He's totally against the system. Tell you who is a babyface now.
Ross, because that would have mean you'd be having a Gargano call, man.
How dare you?
Sorry, what was saying, Jack?
Gargano's a face now.
Oh.
Yeah, he is.
He's a face who is a heel, but is a face. He's like gone through the bottom.
Kevin Owens.
Yeah, he's gone through through around the back of heeldom, and now he's back to a face again.
AE-dub.
You're supposed to be impartial, Maffew. You're a wrestling journalist.
He's a journalist. LA Knight cuts a promo from his pool with the $1 million title. He says he doesn't need an old man like Ted DiBiase riding his coattails and mocks Cameron Grimes for caring more about Ted than money. And at the Performance Center, Cameron Grimes decks someone for disrespecting the Ted.
It looks like The Rock lives at the same complex that EC3 did back in those days.
Oh, it does. Are you still calling him The Rock?
I'm still calling him
Yeah,
The
I
Rock.
like that. That's now the thing now.
The Rock
He
is on
does.
NXT.
He lives by that pool.
That pool there. It was EC3, wasn't it?
It was. Now,
You actually remember an NXT EC3 moment. That wasn't the ladder match.
do you
I'm
remember his
very impressed,
victory?
Ross.
Do you remember his victory after victory promo? That was never actually on WWE, though, was it? That was just on his Twitter, I think. Did you
Oh,
remember
EC3.
Yeah, EC3.
Yes, I vaguely remember it now. You said it. Yeah.
Victory after victory, but he said it about 30 times. But I think it wasn't officially on WWE TV. Which is a shame.
Yeah, Karen Cross would watch EC3 on Raw and go, yeah, okay, that's what you got looking forward to, pal.
Oh.
Hey, if main event's anything to go by, it is.
Yeah, it's scary.
No. As you said before, Ross, main event ruins everything in wrestling. You watch less main event to see where it goes. The Way could a promo in the ring. With Gargano pitching himself as the next contender for Karrion Kross's NXT title.
I knew Matthew would love this.
They're interrupted by Pete Dunne and Wonnie Larkin. Dunne calls Gargano an idiot for thinking he's a more viable number one contender. You're an idiot. Gargano refuses to be provoked and leaves the ring. But Dunne breaks Theory's fingers as he leaves, meaning he can't post on Instagram anymore. Oh no. Later, Gargano complains to Regal backstage, who books a tag match between the two sides. The Way win, but Karrion Kross cheap shots Gargano from behind, turning face in the process.
Not.
No, Gargano's
Way.
the face.
I know. It's not The Way, as Ross said. What do you think?
Why is everyone saying that Karrion Kross is naff still? Like,
I don't know.
He won, yeah, he beat them.
he beat them all. He beat all of them, and there's still Gargano's out there make them sound like a mug, which it seems weird. It seems like one of those wrestler things, you know, when there's like the bookers have got like an issue with somebody, so they have one of the wrestlers say what they're trying to say to the wrestler through on the shows. If that makes any sense, I've just played a game of classic Cultaholic Wrestling Podcast mental tennis in my head. But yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
It is weird. I've just had an alert from my headphones that says battery low, please charge now. So I'm scared.
Is that the build-up hype to the Diamond Mine segment? That's
Yes,
really
it is,
good time
yeah.
if it was.
Well,
But
yeah.
it isn't, is it? You actually bring that up.
I'm actually scared. Yeah,
Was that for them, the battery stuff then?
Yeah, they have the same headphones as Jack.
Because we had those little, I think was it 3 times it appeared during the night where the battery meter kept getting a bit higher and higher.
Oh,
It only got to 51% though, so who comes to the wrestling half charged? We know
The Diamond Mine, Ross.
Tyler. Oh, we'll get on that later. Tyler Rust annoys me.
I know. I like that. He's your Gargano.
why is
He
everyone
is.
picking on Tyler?
No,
Rust?
because go back and watch that segment right at the end, and just keep your eyes locked on Tyler
Okay.
Rust. Tyler Rust is what an actor would do if they were asked to play a wrestler in a film, if they had never ever seen professional wrestling before.
Right.
That is what Tyler Rust is. I don't know
I'll
what he's
keep
like as a
it in mind.
wrestler. I'm sure he's got a lovely physique as well, but just his mannerisms and his facials around the ring, he's just,
Okay. I'll keep that
The
in mind.
XV's own Tyler Rust.
I feel a bit
And we'll
bad
get into
now.
later on. But I think Karrion Kross, it's some of the weirdest build of anybody I've seen in some time, even on NXT, where they usually do good things here, where everyone calls him rubbish. He wins, and they still go, yeah, but you cack because you can't do a Canadian Destroyer. And now we're like, yeah, he is rubbish. I don't get why we're supposed to react into this. But I don't think Karrion Kross is anywhere near as bad as people make him out to be, but he's also not as good as NXT wanted him to be as well, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
He's good, he's all right, but I don't get the idea of calling him rubbish, and that's the feud.
He needs Scarlett. That's what we learned on main event this week.
I don't get that. So Cole and Gargano are right then, basically.
Yeah.
And Dunn and everybody else.
He needs the light. He needs the lights. He needs the entrance and the smoke and Scarlett. Scarlett completes the package for him, so to speak. Weird.
I think Gargano and Cole and Dunn are bullies. They're protecting NXT. Like, go to Raw.
You're too big.
Yeah.
Go away.
You can't go 45 minutes with me.
44.
Anyway, Io Shirai and Zoe Stark beat the Robert Stone brand in a tag match. That's what they're there for. Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell look to get involved after the match, but they're interrupted by Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez. Shotzi Blackheart and Ember Moon arrive too, and all four teams have a big old brawl. Samoa Joe calls for security to regain control. I thought he was security.
Joe can't just go around choking out every woman one by one, though. That would be a bit disturbing. he just goes, he just goes from one to another.
It was good. There was a good bit of continuity from that. Was it last week when he sped away in the car? And it was like, get better security, William Regal. And he has. He has.
And we were like, I will. Then Joe said, oh, you did?
Yeah.
Yes, that's right, sir. That's right, Samoa Joe.
There's a South Park episode where Cartman buys a theme park for himself because he's selfish, but then he turns out to just be really good at managing the theme park. Is this Joe's just really good at his job and just will improve NXT exponentially? Okay.
He's one of those people that feels out like, I think this is what we could do to improve the workplace, and the manager actually listens and reads it. Yeah, that's how you know this is a fantasy world. Frankie Monet finally makes her debut, her encore premiere, defeating Elektra Lopez, who was also making her premiere. Oh, sorry, no, her debut. They call it for her. I think Barrett was being a bit too much character during this. I wasn't very good English. During this match with the commentary, and was distracting a bit. But I like Frankie Monet. I like her character. I like her style of wrestling. I like her dog.
Yeah, she was saying she really tried to keep her old ring name this week of Taya Valkyrie. But
it's a great wrestling name.
It is a great wrestling name, yeah. But Frankie Monet is not that bad, I suppose. Yeah. It's okay.
There's no Monet in that gimmick.
Who wrote Take Me Home Tonight?
Franz Ferdinand?
No, that's Take Me Out.
Take Me Out,
Take Me Home Tonight. I don't want to let you go till you see the light. I'm going to find out. Because I thought that was Frankie Monet.
Oh, you're not Frankie Valli, are you?
Take Me Home Tonight. Not the film.
Yeah, here she is, Frankie Valli. Sherry.
Hello,
I'm Frankie Valli.
Sherry.
Do you know what I learned recently?
What?
Frankie Valli doesn't sing the first verse of Oh What a Night. He sings the second bit. When she walks into the room. That's him. But the first part of the song is just like the drummer or someone singing it. Like the iconic, like, oh, what a night. That's not Frankie Valli.
Oh.
I'm quite the Frankie Valli. I quite enjoy quite a lot of Frankie Valli songs. So.
Yeah.
Has anyone seen Jersey Boys?
No, I've been told it's full of Frankie.
But yeah, same.
Full of Frankie.
Expression. Yeah, the Frankie Valli podcast every Wednesday. Hit Row beat Everrise in a tag match.
Hit Row.
Eddie Money. Take Me Home Tonight.
Eddie Money, not Frankie Money.
Eddie Money.
From the Money family.
Yes. Yeah.
My girl wants to party all the time, party all the time, party all the time.
Take me out. Do. All the members of Hit Row kick Everrise out of the ring to make room for Victory Pros. And what a brutal take on the move they did. The neckbreaker. Poor Everrise Blokey 3.0. 1.0 after that.
I tell you, lads, Ashanti Adonis's hair needs to go in some sort of Hall of Fame. Maybe ours next
Funny
week.
we had one, yeah.
When I remember it. What a head of hair that was on NXT this week. What's the big lad called? Big Money, is it?
Big. Oh, damn it. They've not been around long enough yet.
I've not learned them either. It's like Billy on Raw.
Yeah.
There's too many of them. It's a stable mania in NXT and AEW right now.
You got Swerve Scott, Ashanti Adonis.
Big Dollar.
Big Dollar, yeah.
Is it Big Dollar? Maybe. I don't actually know, though.
Large
Frankie
money.
Eddie Money, yeah. Eddie Money.
Frankie Valli. And the Supremes. So, yeah. It's another stable. And I hope you like that, because after Kyle O'Reilly defeats Kushida in an untitled main event match, they show respect to one another afterwards. Lots of craps and Jack's tapping out. let's talk.
Ask Owen.
But Adam Cole runs in. Maybe Jack will get his headphone charged up. Oh, he can't hear us, of course. Yes. Go charge your thing up, you muppet. What are you looking at us for?
You got a picture of Owen. Owen will have plug-in headphones.
Yeah, go plug in Owen.
Go, Owen. Go peg Owen.
I think he's just staring like I don't know what to do here. I think I'll just stare at everyone, not know. Hey, we gone. Shot of the trousers, sweet. They show respect to one another afterwards, but Adam Cole runs in and brawls with O'Reilly to the back. Meanwhile, Kushida is attacked by hooded figures in the ring, and it's Diamond Mine. The members are Roddy Strong, Hideaki Suzuki,
Guess
and
how
it
old
says
he
here,
is?
Matthew's boy, Tyler Rust. Malcolm Bivens is the manager and tells Strong that the Cruiserweight Championship will soon be theirs.
Two big standouts for this is the fact that Bivens looks like he's finally getting something to do, and Roddy Strong's at the forefront of something as well, which is nice to see. Because I always thought back in the day he was obviously a fantastic wrestler, but not too much of the charisma. But it was clear that during the Undisputed Era, he's just that high school jock, isn't he? That arsehole who's good at all of the sports. That's Roddy Strong.
Yeah.
He's back.
Speaking of good at all the sports, here's Jack.
Plug in headphones.
It's great for the audio people. Jack's headphones went off, so he went off camera to go get a new set. Maybe ask Owen, can I borrow your headphones? Not now, Jack. I'm using them to play FIFA. Can Jack use his thing? Does he know how to plug these in?
Hello.
I can't plug. That's how long the cable is.
Can you get some plug-in headphones off Owen?
Yes, that's a good shout. I'll go and ask him. Thank you. Sorry, carry on.
As for the match, I thought there was lots of nice rolling around the mat, Maffew, like teddy bears they were.
Did you see that game?
You just imagine him sort of sat against the wall.
Yeah, I was begging him to plug it in.
For audio listeners, Jack has a pair of wireless Bluetooth headphones. It's come with a cable that can't be much longer than a curly whirly.
It didn't go longer than his neck. Oh, it was amazing. So yeah, this dinosaur death. But yay, another stable NXT to go along with Imperium, The Way, Hit Row, the Robert Stone brand, QAnon, all the other NXT staples that they're known for. Fantastic. I don't know anything about Hideki Suzuki because he's 41 and I don't watch Lulu Pencil. So
yeah, me neither.
Fantastic.
And of course, Tyler Rust is terrible. So
yeah. Oh.
I feel a bit bad for going so hard. It's changed the mannerisms. I'm sure he's a fantastic wrestler, but the mannerisms are so what an outsider would think a wrestler is, but they're not. They just look a bit weird.
Yeah. That's a fair enough point, Ross. I have nothing to add. I think we should end this bit because Jack's got audio issues. So.
Is that the Week in Wrestling over? Oh, what a shame.
That absolutely was the Week in Wrestling. I don't think it was a long enough segment. Oh.
Right.
Should we wait until Jack gets his headphones sorted out and then end the segment?
You can't work out which one's left, which one's right.
It says L and R on them, Ross. It's very easy to get the two mixed up.
I am on tenterhooks here. I hope he remembers to change his audio input as well. Oh, whoa!
There's a bigger cable. It's like when Jeff Hardy gets the little ladder out and then the huge ladder.
He's got Bray Wyatt's massive hammer around his head.
And can he hear us?
Hello?
Let's see. There's some big headphones. No, not quite. Apparently you can't just plug in a set of headphones in the headphone socket.
You need to change the audio input, won't you?
That's right, because now it'll still be set on the Bluetooth ones.
Yes, they will.
Laptops can get easily confused like this. I love Jack staring at it.
I hope this all gets left in.
It's like a caveman figuring out fire.
I feel like I'm David Attenborough.
Yes.
And here we see the millennial child trying to work out the concept of headphones.
Jack wonders, is poggers a good term or not? The millennial child tries to blend in with the young ones.
The clams are back on the head. Will he change the audio input on the
He's only been doing this most of his adult life.
Let's have a rummage in our mail bags.
Now it's time for a little rummage in the mailbag. And don't worry, Jack is back. We think. If we get bored during this, we'll just pretend we can't hear him.
Okay.
Number 1. Hello, gentlemen. Recently, the channel debuted the Straight to Hell episode with Colt Cabana. In that episode, Cabana mentioned to Ross the importance of letting wrestlers fail from time to time because of how it helped their development. Which got me thinking, what are some of wrestling's best failures? I don't mean ridiculous things like the gobbledygooker or bad gimmicks along those lines. I'm thinking more of trying to force The Rock to be a good guy upon his debut and his failure to connect with the crowd on that level as a launching point for the eyebrow-raising, jabroni-beaten People's Champ character he would evolve into. I also thought of that top rope spinning heel kick that RVD tried to give Jeff Hardy at SummerSlam 01. RVD misses the move spectacularly because even though the move didn't succeed, you could see the innovation behind it and where wrestling would be headed over the next couple of decades. Or maybe it's the way TNA booked Okada and the Young Bucks when they had them on their roster. So, which wrestling failure stands out to you now for the good things it ended up giving us, despite being seen as a failure at the time? Cheers, and thanks for all the content and smiles. David from Barbados. Thank you,
David.
That's a good question, because I just finished reading the Young Bucks book. I'm going to go with what he said, which is the Young Bucks failure in TNA. Because as they describe it in the book, they did everything that they told them to. They assumed a big, bad company like TNA would be full of money and ideas, and that was not the case. And after their failure there, and then in Ring of Honor, that's what kicks out the Young Bucks to go, all right, we just got to go in the complete opposite direction, just milk this and just do all the things that we're being told that we're doing, like not shaking Booker T's hand and just being dicks and all this stuff. And it turned out rather successful for them. But we wouldn't have had that if they had a really good TNA run.
I didn't really watch much Generation Me in TNA, but how different was that from the Young Bucks? Were they like playing it straight? Were they like actual baby faces?
Oh yeah, it's before that, like they were still doing all the flips and stuff. They had some great matches with Motor City Machine Guns, but outside of those matches, there was very little going on. They split up and feuded with very little build. They complained to Brucey P at the time and some other people, and they said, all right, cool, we'll just leave you. And they lost to Shark Boy and Eric Young on the way out. And I was like, all right, bye.
Nice.
So, makes you
fair
think.
enough.
What about yourself, Jack?
I'm gonna. It's not quite what the question's asking, but it was the most prominent thing that jumped out. So, like, tag teams that are often put together by necessity or injury can often work out quite well. So I'm thinking like Jericho, for example, was hilarious and really well done. And I think that was caused by an injury to Edge, maybe? Was it Jericho and Edge and then Jericho and Big Show?
Yeah, Jericho and Edge won the tag titles, and then Edge got injured very quickly afterwards.
Yes. And then after Jericho, was it then Miz and Big Show?
Yes.
Yes.
That lasted nowhere near the length, but it was good.
Yeah.
Is that right?
So things like that. I'm not sure why Rated RKO got put together. That might have been deliberate, actually. But I'll go for Jericho, because among like any other example you want from a tag team that was put together to like fill time or whatever, but actually turned out to be pretty good. So yeah.
Yeah,
Ross,
and it was to replace the legit injured Edge.
Yes. Yeah.
That's also how the New Age Outlaws became a thing as well.
Was it?
Well, you two dudes doing nothing. What's going to happen if we team you up? Can't be worse than what you're doing right now.
Oh, the Roadie and
the Double J. The Jeff Jarrett's, like, road dude. Yeah, whatever, you two team up. What are you going to do?
And
probably nothing.
Smoking guns.
Yeah.
That's right.
Ross,
what about yourself, Ross? What's your best failure?
I'll go for the failure of Bret Hart not to be a massive stinking mark for himself. I love Bret Hart, Maffew, but if he wasn't so much of a mark for himself, we wouldn't have got the screw job, would we? And we wouldn't have got Vince McMahon as the best heel in wrestling and all of that stuff that came thereafter.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lose to Shawn Michaels in my home country. Don't be preposterous.
It was more nuanced than that.
I mean, yeah, I was going to say, using a blunt instrument to describe a lot of nuanced things there, but you know what? You're right for the wrong reasons. Being a massive Bret Hart fan, I am. Yeah, Bret Hart did take it seriously. Some would say way too seriously, but now we've gone back the other way and no one takes the stuff seriously because no one wants to go, sod it, I'm going to go to a different company or leave. So, just saying.
Was Bret Hart, because I'm quite Bret Hart Team Bret Hart in the Screwjob story? Because I know... Okay, Matthew. That's damn right you are.
I look like I've really upset you, Matthew. Are you okay? You just vent at me, shout at me. What do you want to say?
It's
Go.
because you said something that I
heard...
can't argue with, but the way you've said it, I'm like, damn it.
No, go on, tell me what.
We've talked about the Screwjob loads on this show. Every wrestling
I think everyone knows it.
But I've never heard Matthew's views on the Screwjob. So now, Matthew, give us an exclusive. Was Brett...
My views on the Screwjob?
Who screwed Brett?
Still a national tragedy.
Right.
I refuse to go into work when on Screwjob day. I'm a poutine with a sad face on. It's disgusting.
This is actually a question because I think me and Ross were both probably too young to... I wasn't watching when the Screwjob happened.
I wasn't, no.
What was it like?
Insane. Because it's more wrestling than wrestling. End up benefiting everybody, but... Bret Hart made a ton of money with WCW and did absolutely nothing of note. But from that one time, he said El Dandy. But in terms of a story and a topic to go over and just see how fascinating 1997 was compared to like nowadays or even just a few years later on, the idea that Vince would be like, I need you to drop the belt. I really should have put the belt on you in the first place. I don't know what I was thinking there. And everything going on, people lying to each other, Brett being a mark for himself, as Ross said, Shawn Michaels just being Shawn Michaels, and everything going on at the time. It's insane. It reads like the best story.
Yeah.
But it was real.
Did you watch it live?
No. I saw the bits they showed on TV afterwards. And took it in because it was in wrestling magazine and stuff. But it was like, no, Bret Hart is legit being screwed. This isn't. And it could have been a wrestling angle because he's going to WCW. He was legit going to do it, so it was real. And you knew that. You knew that even if that stuff was fake and wrestling's that was 100% real because they were legit feuding. WCW and WF were not in cahoots. This was not an angle. And I'm more fascinated by the fact that there are people who go, it was a work.
I was going to say, Scott Hall, there's that footage of Scott Hall saying like he makes all these points that make sense, but then you're thinking it's definitely real though, isn't it?
Well, people have to point out, I think Chris Canyon was someone else who pointed out that everyone benefited from it, and so it must be a work, which I think is just one of these happy coincidences. But Bret Hart was not happy with which documentary was it? Was it the Vice one, or was it the A&E that did the Bret Hart? No, A&E's just done one about Bret Hart recently, but the one that they did about the screw job, that included Scott Hall's comments on it. Well, Bret Hart saw that and goes, all right, I don't want nothing to do with you. Why would you include that? Why would you even entertain the idea of it being a work after all these years, after all these interviews? I went off on one then.
No.
You know what? I do have passion for wrestling, honest. It's not always to do with the Roddy Strongs or Garganos of this world. As soon as you bring up Bret Hart, I get
that was really interesting because I can't imagine what it was like. I'm glad you answered that because I can't imagine what it was like watching the Screwjob unfold as it did.
Yeah, you're like wrestlers getting screwed out of the title legitimately is something that happened in the 1930s and 40s, and it's like 97 this happened.
Yeah.
Oh,
we've just had Matthew's Keegan moment. You say that, but a man like Bret Hart
in where were they? Alberta, Canada? Forget.
Montreal. Quebec.
Oh, shut up. No. You know what? If it's called the Montreal Screwjob, I'm like, where were they?
No. Oh, right. I thought you were asking which province.
No.
I thought you were asking which province Montreal was in.
No.
No.
Well, which province is it? Am I right?
Quebec, I think.
Quebec.
Oh, it's still wrong. Shut up, Matthew. Hey, what's the next question? Hi, Maffew, Jack, and Ross, or anyone who stepped in. Huge fans since the Name Redacted days, and your content, especially the podcast, has helped me through some really bad times. Also, I just want to say, Ross, your openness with your mental health and how supportive everyone has been has actually inspired me to be more open and honest about my own mental health. Thank you, Ross.
I didn't mean to choose two questions that have got bits about me at the start. I'm sorry. Very conscious of that sort of stuff happening.
Anyway, on to the silly question. You discussed Tinder last week, which reminded me of the time I used the Steiner Maths promo as my Tinder bio for a while. In brackets, I was very drunk at the time. So my question is, which wrestling promo do you think would actually work as a chat-up line? Or if you want, just which would be the funniest? Thanks for everything, guys, and keep up the good work. Josh from Lancashire. Thank you, Josh, from the province of Lancashire. Appreciate the shout out there to Ross's mental health, and move that into how would you pull with a wrestling line?
Hard times, but no.
I was going to say, are you Montreal? Because I'm going to I don't know, Ross. Would you?
I'll just go for Cactus Chat, me, short and sweet. Bang, bang.
Question mark.
That whole concept of Tinder terrifies me. I couldn't do that. Like swiping and then going meeting up with someone and just shagging and going home. Terrifying.
If you want to hook up with me on a night out, give me a hell yeah.
I've got 2 words for you. Well, just go and watch that video.
Swipe left.
Adam scripted with Penny. And
Oh,
me.
God, I remember that.
Yeah, just go and watch any of that. I think about that often. It's like, what position would you like to do the gorilla position or something like that? And she asked what it was. And I couldn't think on my feet. Like, my improv skills aren't very good. So I was like, it's anything you want it to be, Penny, or something like that. I just wish I'd said it's like where you're on all fours and you just throw crap at the window. Something like that.
I think in that video, right, everyone finds you very funny in that video and Adam, but I think Penny deserves a lot of credit. She knew what was going on. Like, she clearly twigged like halfway through, less than halfway through, but she really played along. Like, she really did well, Penny.
The thing, sit back and think that what she must hear on a daily basis. I bet that wasn't the weirdest thing she heard that day. Never mind, like, that week or whatever. But
I don't think it depends on what wrestling promo you use. I know after, like, finding out I have 2 things in common with a person, I'll be doing the Brucey P. I love you before midnight. So, hope he answered your question there. We didn't. Number 3. Hello, lads. So I have seen how people, including Maffew, have reacted to Moxley using the Wild Thing theme. Bless you, Jack. Maffew pointed out that he doesn't like it because it's not unique and it's just him using Onita's theme. He went on to say it's just Moxley making reference to Onita, who is clearly someone Moxley likes, which I think is fair criticism coming from someone like Maffew, because it's not like Maffew's entire personality and sense of humour is just based on referencing the things he likes. Oh, I see where this is going. Moxley using this theme would be like if Maffew used clips from The Simpsons or other shows that are actually funny instead of relying on his own completely original humour. Is he clips from The Simpsons or shows that are actually... Is he insulting The Simpsons?
Is he insulting...
Classic Simpsons.
He's insulting... No, I think he's insulting Botchamania or this podcast.
No, I got that. Thank you. Thank you for translating that really complex thing there,
No,
Jack.
but I can't work out whether he means Botchamania or this podcast.
Yeah.
When he was saying
which one's getting insulted? Is it Cultaholic Maffew or Botchamania Maffew? They're very different people. It's like NXT Maffew and Raw Maffew. Also, I've seen people say that Maffew is too hard on NXT, but I think he raises a good point. It's just a setup. If a show just does the same thing week in and week out with no variety, then it is crap. And the people who make it should get better. Oh, I see. So stop complaining and enjoy listening to Maffew and Jack talk about Street Fighter the movie, Eurovision, cheese pizzas, nights out at Rise, or any other of the 6 topics they rehash every week.
Oh.
But this leads me to my question. What is the best currently used submission in all? Oh, it was actually a real question at the end. Currently used submission in all wrestling. Thanks for everything, lads, and keep up the good work on the podcast. Sincerely, the 1991 Denver Broncos. It's always good when you get oh, thanks for the podcast, it's great. You get someone saying, boo, you guys suck. But when you get a passive aggressive one that very accurately tears you apart, you're like... Okay, I'm going to remember you in weeks to come, pal. Thank you, Denver Broncos. You raised some good points there. It's nice that I'm actually being too hard on NXT. I've been enjoying it the last 2 weeks. But and I also think it's not fair that he thinks we say that all week. He missed out Keegan's promo on Ferguson.
Yeah.
And me talking about Ryback not winning at Hell in a Cell 2012.
Coop Chicken.
Go on.
Coop Chicken.
Coop Chicken. Plug. Yeah, you missed that out, 1991 Denver Broncos. I bet you feel really foolish now. And Sticky Vicky. All the classics.
I've got a feeling, right, if your dear mother, Maffew, is listening to this part of the podcast...
Oh, my mum, yeah.
She's going to get in contact with the 1991
No, Mum, leave the 1991 Denver Broncos alone. John Elway has suffered enough. I think that's one. But yeah, there's some fair comments there. And when I say Moxie using Wild Thing is weird, it's because Moxie has his own identity. And references for the sake of references with nothing behind them is something that AEW and myself, I guess, struggle with. Because ideally the reference should be something that you should get and like, even if you don't know the reference. If that makes sense.
We don't need to answer the 1991 Denver Broncos question, I don't think. Because that question was clearly just tacked on the end. Like, they just thought, we need a question here. and then just what's the best submission in wrestling.
Yeah, they don't care about wrestling. Also,
I was going to go for Britt Baker's, me.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah,
The old lockjaw.
I'm really sad. I'm really sad that the crossface is so obviously associated with Benoit. I know some people still do it, but the original crossface was probably the best submission in wrestling for me at the time. It was absolutely class. There was ways you could struggle, they could roll over. The ankle lock as well. The ankle lock was brilliant, especially when Kurt Angle would grapevine and stuff. But at the minute, I'll agree with Ross. I'll go for the lockjaw.
I'll go with Walter's Gojira clutch. Because it's Walter, that other topic that I love hashing every single chance I get. So, apparently did a stare down NXT UK, because I read the report of NXT UK, I don't watch it. What are you talking about? Apparently it's up, maybe, possibly Ilya versus Walter again.
I don't know if you mentioned this when I was fixing my headphones before, but did you see that Malcolm Bivens of the Diamond Mine DM'd Walter?
How you doing?
No.
Volta and Imperium respect the Diamond Mine.
I'll find what was said. It was definitely a real tweet, and not a faked one by Malcolm Bivens.
Just to reference something that I know we've referenced on the podcast before, another time. I hope the Diamond Mine's theme is Diamond Lights by Hoddle and Waddle. What a song. Darling, I love you. And Chris Waddle's there. Diamond Mines.
Cold electric blue, those diamond lights. Hoddle's really into it, isn't he?
Hoddle's got pipes on him. It's just Waddle doing the dulcet Diamond Mines.
Malcolm Bivens to Walter in Twitter DMs. The street's not safe no more. Walter, I know, big bro. Crying face, crying face. Me, Fabian, and Marcel respect you. Please don't hurt us.
Walter said that. Wow, I gotta respect the Diamond Mine if a man like Walter's tipping his hat to them.
Malcolm Bivens is the best on Twitter.
He's the best.
We're
nominating him for the Hall of Fame, right? His Twitter account.
I think we must have done.
Yeah,
when he was looking for his CD player because it had his Bad Boy and his Ashante CDs.
The best. Second best. Number one best are the people who send in these questions.
Yes.
These thoughts and these scathing criticisms, of which I can't defend myself against. So I just have to come up with humour derived from other places to combat it. No, but please, thank you, 91 Denver Broncos. We appreciate the feedback. And I mean that in a sincerely, not in a passive-aggressive way. You know, sometimes it can come across as that. And I appreciate us getting them. Because I don't think we should be above criticism, or people say.
No.
And I say we, I know it's me, but yeah, absolutely, people should send in their thoughts and saying stuff. Like, no, I can criticize this, but you better say anything negative about me. Blah, 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 blah. No, I can take it.
I can some weeks.
I can, but, you know, I want to hear from the Washington Wizards next time.
Oh.
That's right. I thought of the first American sports team I could think of. Thinking NFL is it. But anyway, thank you for those thoughts. If you have any, please send them towards us at mailbag@cultaholic.com. Now it's time for some Reese's Pieces to get you going. Salutations, you filthy diddlers. There we go. I was watching last week's podcast when I suddenly heard one of my emails was picked for the mailbag section. It got me really excited. So I decided to resend this Reese's Pieces. One I had already sent over a year ago, but wasn't picked, quite frankly. I think it's a really good Reese's, so I'm sending it again. Lol.
Okay, fair enough.
I actually appreciate the put, quite frankly, in this, because I've started saying, quite frankly, because I hear it on commentary.
Vince McMahon thing, that for sure. You see any interview with Vince McMahon, it's always quite frankly, I believe this to be the truth. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. Nonetheless, during these rather unpleasant times, I've been wondering what it would be like to spend the lockdown with a wrestling persona for a while. Oh, God. I'll give you two names, and you have to choose which of the two you'd rather spend the lockdown with for an undefined amount of time. Woof. Okay, we'll go fast as thought first. Jack Ross, me. Jim Cornette or Vince Russo?
Oh, Cornette shades it.
Cornette likes fast food and he has a lovely museum thing in his house. Cornette.
Yeah.
Got dogs as well, dogs.
Has
Dog?
Good.
Yeah,
Maybe, yeah.
Was it what dog has it got? Was it a breed that was popular in '85? Yeah, it's got to be Cornet. I've heard Russo speak for 5 seconds, and I'll never get that back. Trips or Cody? Trips? Is that his name? Trips or Cody Rhodes? Is that what Dave Meltzer called him at the press conference?
I reckon they're both very obviously like into fitness, and it's all boring and that. But Cody likes to drink, from what I've seen that one time. So Cody, because Triple H is famously teetotal or doesn't drink much.
Triple H, because I get to go to his house and have a nice time with Stephanie's dogs, the big mastiffs, Andre, and I forget the other one's name.
Is the other one
Agassi.
a wrestler?
Andre who?
Andre and Agassi, the two dogs.
She's just a huge tennis fan.
Yeah. I love tennis. I love tennis so much. I turn my head into all of the balls. So, trips. I like that.
That's
all
what
the wrestlers' dogs.
That's what it's all about. The
Yeah.
game means. It's not the game as in. It's the game as in.
Imagine if
Yes.
Triple H's catchphrase was like gamer, setter, matcha.
That's why he's the GM. He's the gamer setting this
The matcha.
Oof. Be great if he starts doing tennis player analogies to Dave, who's Dave's like, no.
Dave is a tennis match. Just what he's speaking.
yeah, it's true.
I'm going to go with Cody, because I have very little to talk about these two people anyway, but imagine Cody be like, you can get drunk and talk about Zelda or something.
Oh,
And
did you
Cody's
see?
dog. Cody's, the speak with wrestlers' dogs. Cody's dog.
See what MJF said about video games recently?
What did MGF say?
He said that professional wrestling video games are obviously cool, but real ones are for nerds, or like other ones are for nerds. And the quote was something like, "I don't know what people are playing these days, but games like Zelda and Cuck Party 2."
He's seething again. Look at him.
No, I'm enjoying Jack laughing.
Cuck
See how long I can laugh? I'm not
version.
seething. I don't. No, yeah, right.
It was-
Cook Party 2 wasn't as good as Cook Party 1. That's why I'm mad. Bret Hart's favourite game is Cook Party 1. Now leave me alone, Ross.
It was just the fact that he said 2 for some reason, which just really tickled me.
First one sold so well.
Yeah.
So popular, according to Heyman and Bischoff.
I heard they're remaking Cuck Party 7.
The HD remaster. Now with more cooking. John Cena or Roman Reigns?
Oh, Cena 100%.
I'll go around to Cena's house with his dad. Have a great time.
Did you see that thing they did where they did the anatomy of a feud or whatever it was between Cena and Edge, and they showed all the takes they didn't use for Cena Senior
He
getting
kept
beat
going
up
off
by
script.
Edge?
He's like he's a proper performer. Like, how?
Yeah.
Edge, you young scoundrel.
Really?
All right, you've been beat up for real by Edge bringing you home. Act. I'll get you. No, not like that. Not like that. I'll go Roman Reigns. Just imagine spending time with a bunch of Samoans would be great.
Oh, you get
Just
to
want
sit down
family.
the side. You get to sit down the side of the table.
I reckon Cena would be a great laugh, unless he just didn't take a liking to you like you were Alex Riley or something.
You see Riley on Booker T's podcast and giving the most politician answer you've ever heard.
Heard about it.
So
yeah.
why did you leave WWE? Well, the name I can't say, the thing that didn't happen, we had different ways of looking at doing business. It was nothing. And Booker T was like, And you're waiting for him to do a Lorraine Kelly and go, great, can you say a bit more?
Tell me he didn't just say that.
Yay.
Hey, no way!
Nonetheless, Brock Lesnar or Scott Steiner?
That's the hardest one so far. I don't want to spend time with either of those men. I'll go for Lesnar because I think we'd leave each other alone. Whereas Steiner, I feel would be more volatile to be around. I don't know. I'll go for Lesnar though, just because he'll just be out hunting and stuff.
Yeah, I was just about to say I reckon Lesnar's got like the most perfect life at home. But then I'm not asked about the hunting personally, but just sits back. I know he cooks a lot of meat on his barbecue. I saw an interview with him somewhere where he's showing off his big fancy car and he's like, yeah, I love cooking meat on the barbecue. And if he's anything like Baron Corbin, I'm going round to Brock's for tea.
See, I'm glad you had the same thought as me. It's like, yeah, Brock's got the best hunting stuff. Sorry, not
We all love
the best cooking
all love
stuff.
hunting.
Oh, no. Said the wrong thing, haven't I?
In America, I think the idea of hunting is very different to the idea of hunting over here, which is like trumpets and red coat, like, da-da, off we go, chaps.
And you
Catch
got
the ball.
Joe Rogan with a bow and arrow.
Yeah, hunting elk.
Oh, it's a poacher.
Do you remember Danny Champion of the World, the Roald Dahl novel? Oh,
I do remember that.
that's my favourite Roald Dahl bit, that one. Marvellous.
That's your favourite?
Yeah.
Well, I've been my favourite. No.
Fair enough. Controversial,
Matilda,
man.
I think.
That's a great. And the
What about
film.
you, Ross? What's your favourite Roald Dahl book?
A bit of Charlie and Chocolate Factory, isn't it?
They're all great. The twits.
I said this on my Twitch stream yesterday. I was watching this morning's YouTube highlights. If you don't subscribe to This Morning on YouTube, get yourself on there. And they had, right, the actual Augustus Gloop from the original one. Interviewing him, right? I checked the channel 20 hours after the video went live, and the video had like 8.4 thousand hits.
Oh, no.
Scandalous scenes. People have forgotten what Augustus Gloop's all about. I think he's like a mortgage advisor, a financial advisor these days. He's not an actor anymore.
Yeah, because there was a documentary about him, about that, all the, like, what happened to the kids of this. And they showed footage of him doing, he was writing on one hand and calculator on the other. I thought it was very impressive.
Yeah.
I can't remember, I believe that was years ago.
He's not just a big fat nincompoop. That's for sure.
I saw a Reddit thread not long ago, like within like the past sort of 2 weeks maybe, that said Augustus Gloop was screwed by Willy Wonka. Because he said, this is the candy room, eat whatever you want. But he did warn Augustus Gloop several times not to drink from the chocolate river. So I'm on Wonka's side there, to be fair.
It's fantastic on the segment as well, because I have this, I don't know who this American fella's like, well, the film was so great. They had an actual real chocolate river. You could have really drank it if you want. And then they had one of the Oompa Loompas, one of the original Oompa Loompas in studio, and Augustus Gloop going, nah, wasn't a real river. load of crap, pal. Augustus Gloop, right? He's an athlete, right? Because he said he had the depth of it was a meter, I think he said. So he had to sort of dive in and then sort of swoosh himself around at the same time, not to bottom out. So incredible. Incredible from Augustus Gloop.
Do you remember he's like a really successful financial person? He's just like, yes, I've done it. Wasn't it great, did it? Yes, that was 60 years ago.
Phil goes, you still sound like him. You still sound like Augustus Gloop.
What, the little boy?
Bloody Phil. What's he like, eh?
You're still German then?
Is he actually-
Breaking news. Health Secretary Matt Hancock admits breaking social distancing rules with close
my
aid
God.
and apologises for letting people down.
He admitted it.
He admitted to breaking social distancing rules.
It's time to go! He's got to. If Cummings went, he's got to go.
Boris will love that, man.
I know Boris will. It's like when Vince started pushing Rollins after he got exposed. He did. He started, but that's when Rollins started. When Rollins started getting. Oh man, Rollins was the victim in that situation. To be fair,
Of course.
But Vince loved the idea of it, though. He's like, "Oh, he's a ladies' man. Oh, wow,
you've got a cock."
yeah, basically.
Just
push him.
It's going to be interesting to see where, by the time the podcast goes live, it's now currently 12:31 in the afternoon BST. What's it going to be like at 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. whenever this goes live? Incredible.
How can he keep his job if Cummings went?
Oh, it's only been a few hours. We'll wait. I can't believe you went. Yeah, I admit to. Wait, you admit to that? No, I admit to breaking social distancing.
It's very politician.
But not admitting that. Well,
They're horrible, aren't they?
Politicians, aye.
Yes, they are.
I like one of them at the minute, and I'm worried he's going to turn out. Every time you put your faith in one, it just goes wrong. But I do quite like that Andy Burnham from Manchester.
He seems to be the saviour, doesn't he, for Labour?
The king in the north. We're gonna march on
Game
London.
of Thrones reference. Wow, taking it back. But it's like the scorpion and the frog analogy, isn't it? So
yeah.
It's keep.
Oh, that Punk promo. Wow. You stupid old man.
You stupid old man. Speaking of which, Vince McMahon or Tony Khan?
Tony. I think
Oh,
I'd fear for my life with Vince.
Vince McMahon, all day long.
Nah, I'll go with Tony because by the sound of it in the Young Bucks book, you'd be like, Tony, your dad's a billionaire. Let's go in a private jet and fly someplace. Okay, and he'd do it. Whereas Vince McMahon's like, I want to be buried with my money. Those pyramids the Egyptian pharaohs had.
I've thought this before. I think Vince would hate me very much. I think I'm everything not what Vince would like.
He would
in
laugh at
person.
me because I'm fat. So he loves fat people just laughing at me. Look at that jiggly belly, we'd say.
God's sake. Maffew, what do you think Vince would think of you?
Oh, I'm sure he'd be thrilled.
Yeah.
I can't even think what he would do. Just pretend I wasn't there.
Do you think he knows what? Do you think Vince knows Botchamania?
No.
He must do, or he
I
must.
don't think he knows what he hasn't figured out Google yet, has he? Botchamania. Linda McMahon or Stephanie McMahon?
Stephanie. You hear people in interviews say that Stephanie's actually lovely.
Yeah, a lot of people say she's nice and she's got the dogs. I just imagine Linda being so bloody boring.
Yeah.
I'll take Linda McMahon. I'll take getting bored or having to hang around Steph. Cut exposition promos about things. This is Titan Towers. This is what my family feels like. I know, God, all right. This Sunday at Hell in the... I know. Paul Heyman or Bischoff?
Oh,
I've met both of these men. Heyman very briefly, but I would choose Heyman. No, would I? Yeah, Heyman.
see,
Heyman.
I would go Bischoff, mate, just because I've seen his house, and his house is like just in the middle of nowhere. Much like Lesnar. Just seems like, whoa, I'm out in the sticks. Whoa.
I'll go for Heyman
paradise.
still. That's the hardest one so far.
I'm saying Bischoff. Just
But he's
because
the,
I
but
like
he's the
his...
baddie.
Is he? To who?
Heyman's great. To some
Heyman's
people.
not a baddie.
Heyman's
Heyman didn't
a-
screw anybody out of money.
No.
Didn't do it. Didn't lie to anybody.
I reckon
Who is it?
Heyman's,
Is it-
Heyman's personal life must be all go all the time. That's what I imagine Heyman's personal life to be.
Hustle Booty Temp Tats,
Just
Ross.
always on the phone, always in suits.
Yeah.
Who was it? Was it JBL or Edge at One Night Stand going?
JBL. bouncing
Oh dear.
Yeah. Yeah, they're both, promote a book of people who have screwed other people, but Heyman's the lovable one who didn't pay people for years. So,
Tell you
Eric
what.
Bischoff, just hearing him on 83 weeks and talk about stuff and talk about all the sex for his wife
Yeah.
that he does. And,
Bischoff was so good looking, man. In his what the?
Oh,
He was a
what
model.
the
That's how
hell?
him and his wife met, wasn't
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
it? I'm sure him and his wife were both models, and that's how they met.
He was
Imagine
very
that.
attractive.
Imagine that life.
that's how talk about Eric Bischoff, you used to be really pretty, He's like,
He's still a good-looking man for his age, I reckon.
oh, yeah.
Oh,
Silver
aye.
Fox.
I will say though, Paul Heyman shocked me with his height. I was taller than Bischoff. Heyman was taller than me, and I had no idea.
Heyman's a comfortable 6 foot.
Yes, and I couldn't believe it. Is it because he's always just next to giant men?
Yes.
Okay, fair enough. Then.
And the final one, El Generico or Sami Zayn? Don't want to pick these two people.
El Generico because he doesn't speak, so that if you wanted a bit of peace and quiet, you'd be all right.
Oh, but he's in an orphanage, though, isn't he?
Oh, Ross bloody knows.
Oh, no,
He
things
knows.
me. So just because kids are the worst, I'd go for Sami Zayn.
No, Jericho does speak. He goes, "Si, senor," and El Generico numero uno, and that was
Yes,
that was
he
it
does.
really. So
He speaks Spanish. Sorry, I forgot.
yes, the best Spanish you've ever heard. I would pick Sami Zayn and ask him if he knows any Spanish. No, I'm actually Sami Zayn be a nice person to talk to about serious things, and he'd kill a few hours.
Yeah, Sammy sounds nice. Ash from Rise claims that he talked to Sami Zayn once about punk rock bands and ska bands.
Oh yeah, that'd be another thing to talk to them about. Yeah.
That
Denver
sounds like.
Broncos rage intensifies.
I think that was.
Oh yeah, there we go. Jazz can react to that
Yeah.
like I reacted to Brett.
I think that was the time that you said Samoa Joe was dressed like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle disguised as a human.
Yeah. Specifically, yeah, and the Ninja Turtles built the live action one they did. Yeah.
With like a
Well,
hat.
300 years ago, he's got the giant brown coat and hat on. Yeah, it's exactly what Samoa Joe was dressed as.
Yeah.
I'm a human being. I'm not a turtle. It was Samoa Joe, the only Samoan in 1,000 miles of anywhere. It's not me, Samoa Joe. Just after NXT's just aired.
Samoa Joe is one of the people in WWE I would least like to have to fight, I think. He seems well hard. He seems like on Danny Dyer's Hardest Men or whatever. Like, He could just slap you really fast and knock your teeth out. I'd be so scared.
Which wrestler could you take, Jack?
Yeah.
None of the wrestlers.
So you said he's at the top of the list, so by the implication, there's going to be a bottom of the list one. I can take him.
Immediately, my mind went Mad Kurt, but I've met him and he's really tall. So, God, none of them, Ross. None of them.
It's a fair comment. I'd be the same boat, I think.
Drake Maverick?
Tyler Rust.
Tyler Rust. Maffew, any wrestlers you could beat in a
Yeah,
fight?
I'd rather take on some more jokes. It'll last about 5 seconds. If I took on Gargano, it's going to be at least 45 minutes. With a promo afterwards that goes nowhere.
He'd let you get plenty of moves in, though. He'd
Yeah,
kick out of
the
all of
Irish
them.
whip, the fall on me face, oh God, I'm sorry. All
I
classics.
could beat like Ric Flair. There we go. I'll choose like an old one. That's morally
Oh,
fine.
Ric Flair now, you don't be like
Now Ric Flair.
Flair
now.
E7. Oh, okay.
Or like,
Oh, in that case, yeah, I'll take on Billy Graham.
yeah, like really old ones. Yeah.
It's the pile of dust.
Oh,
Best of wishes for all you crazy lads. Sorry, Ross.
Sorry, Labour has urged the PM to sack man Hancock.
Oh, that's a bit. Ooh.
Oh,
Oof.
But the health secretary said he would stay focused on dealing with the pandemic.
Oh man.
yeah, they're doing a great job with that, aren't they?
I can't believe they're real though, those pictures. That's incredible, that, isn't it?
Yeah, he was eating out to help out. I'm glad to hear most of you are already vaccinated or almost done with it. Let's hope you'll be able to gather and watch some sound together like the good old days. Cheers,
you.
Matthias from Spain.
Thank you.
Gracias.
Yes.
Gracias,
A
Matthias.
global podcast this week. We've been from Barbados to Spain to Denver.
Denver Broncos. So, thank you very much for the Reese's Pieces. Always good to hear from you and these wonderful thoughts, even if they have gone on a bit of a tangent today because of the news happening in England right now. But thank you very much. Please send them to mailbag@cultaholic.com and don't be put off if we don't use it for a year.
It's Cultaholics.
What a great podcast. I almost said it without laughing then. And we've got one big question, and that is, how great is the Sunday Post? We'll set sport then. With, of course, classics such as All Woolly and the Bruins, and also a little man named Tom Campbell making an appearance on last week's issue. We'll find the bit. I probably should have. There he is. The man himself. There he is.
He's very blue.
He's looking. He's a bit upset. He saw the results and.
Is that him doing his couch to 5K?
He's been running as well. Yeah.
Hey, hold on. There he is. I can just barely get it on the camera.
He's doing quite well with it, I think.
That's
From
right.
what I've seen.
So, yeah, there we go. There's the big. That's scheduled for the draft they're doing later on. Tom Campbell does Sunday Post. So
Well done, Tom.
Glad to see you, pal.
I want to get in the paper. What? Anyway.
Oh, keep it up, Jack. The big question this week: with WWE going on the road very soon, the start of July, I believe, is when the first time they're going on the tour, and having real crowds in the arenas again. By God, how will returning to live shows affect WWE? Is the big question. Off the top of my head, because I said it earlier, and just because the last time we saw him in front of people wasn't getting overwhelmingly cheered, Drew McIntyre. Or maybe just Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre. I viewed that maybe they blew off before they went back on the road because Drew is good against certain people, but Lashley's so good right now, I can see him getting cheered to hell as soon as he steps foot with the women and the MVP and the title.
Do you remember?
And the women.
Do you remember when Drew first won the Rumble and was becoming a contender? And everyone said, you know what? Actually, they're not writing him as a cheesy WWE babyface. He's actually quite cool. It's gone wrong. It was going so well. And I don't know whether it's just that he won and his journey was over and there was nowhere else for him to go. But something happened and now he's just got weird. As Ross mentioned earlier, he's become a bit of a historian. It's odd. I'm worried he's going to get booed. Did he get booed a bit at Mania?
Not booed, but Lashley was cheered.
Right.
As Drew. So,
Right.
Which is quite awkward when he's supposed to be a bad guy. But yeah. And you're right, because he wasn't sounding too cheesy or managing to ease the cheese, he was fine. And now he's cheese. Now he's Highlands Robert the Bruce Cheese. With the William Wallace and the Bravehearts and the Iron Brew and everything. It's just like, all right, great. So, but in the ring, still great. I still think he has the chance to turn it around and just stop being cheesy on the mic.
It's not complicated with Drew. You don't need to write him complicated. Look at him. Look at him. Oh!
Have him and Sheamus be like the Brothers of Destruction, but with pints of Guinness involved as well. That's all you need.
Yeah. I think Sheamus is going to get cheered as well.
Yeah.
What you thought, Jack? What are your thoughts?
I think that Roman Reigns might get cheered for just being really good at his job. Because he didn't get cheered at Mania, but I think that's partly because Bryan and Edge, like everyone loves Bryan and Edge. But now, when they go back on the road, I think that after 6 years of trying to get everyone to cheer Roman Reigns, now that they don't want people to cheer Roman, I think now is going to be the time. Because we're all fickle and crap. So I think that Roman's going to get cheered now. Especially if he goes against like a challenger that we don't generally want to see him go against that much. So that'll be interesting, definitely. But I can't see them turning him face even if he gets cheered because he's just working so well at the minute. But that's the main one for me at the minute anyway. But Ross, what's yours?
My mind went straight to Alexa Bliss. And then being back on the road means they'll have to... If it's going to fall flat like it has done so many times over the pandemic era, the fans won't give it a chance, will they? So they'll boot out the building, and that'll force WWE's hand to stop doing the stuff week on week on week that maybe isn't quite working like they hope it would do. So that instant feedback on the Alexa Bliss stuff might tone it down a bit, might, end it, essentially, but I don't know. I just feel like she'll benefit from it the most because this isn't my personal sort of thing, just when you see on social media, just people just saying negative stuff about it all the time. I don't think too many people are enjoying it. There will be people out there enjoying it, but I don't think too many people are. So Alexa Bliss will benefit by that instant feedback ending that stuff.
Mm.
Well, another thing, it being live, as opposed to everything being pre-taped in the Thunderdome, they're going to have to tone down a lot of the puppet fights and... Oh, wait, no, they can still do hypnosis. That's fair enough. But, yeah, the other stuff that people go on, that's rubbish. They're going to have to tone down. So I think because of just be going on Twitter, which is... What else have I got to go on? I think Alexa Bliss is going to be cheered. They're going to love her.
Just because she's different.
Give it a roll. Give it a roll. Yeah. She is, like, that's the thing. It's not her. It's the stuff they have her do. Like, I think she does that role very well indeed. I thought Randy did it well back in the day when he was involved with it as well, but just what they have her do is just a bit... It's that fine line, isn't it, between goofy and naff.
What about Nikki?
I hope people get behind her.
Yeah.
I hope they're sensible like myself and think it's one thing and just look at it at the surface, and then Ross corrects them because he's so clever and so good at the wrestling, goes, no, it's supposed to look like that. It's supposed to look like a homemade costume, and go, oh, that makes sense. Yeah, you know what? Let's get behind it.
He didn't even do that on purpose, I don't think. Doesn't matter.
Oh, no, what have I said?
Nothing.
Damn it. Well, whatever I did, I apologise.
It's fine. I hope people... I'm just hope, because fans will be brutal towards stuff they don't like, especially in certain towns. I just hope that it shocks WWE into just improving the TV product a bit more, because it's gotten really quite shoddy. So I hope that the fans, because they've said, been quite open about it, haven't they? WWE saying stuff like, we don't know who's going to get cheered and what the fans are going to be like. But I hope once they realise some of the bad stuff's bad, then it'll shock them into action, maybe.
Right. I'm worried that Reigns is going to get cheered because he's so good. I'm like, no, boo him.
He will. I think he will get cheered sometimes for being sick.
Then again, I hope all of wrestling fans are like me in that Roman Reigns, just watching him makes me feel like a child watching wrestling again because I want to boo the bad guy. He's horrible, isn't he?
He's
horrible.
Nasty.
Nasty piece of work. A proper
Nasty
worky ticket.
Yeah.
Evil Doyle.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting, though, to say the least. See how guys
It's going
like
to be
Killer
good
Cross
as well,
are gonna...
though.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
gonna
no,
be
it's going to be
good,
interesting.
yeah.
Going to be glued to my... Not really glued, can't be painful. Glued to the screen. To see
Was it
what's
the
happening.
SmackDown, the first one back on the 16th, was it? Is that what it was?
I think so.
that's what I
I
got
think
told.
it rings a bell anyway.
Yeah, I can't wait for that show.
And
It's gonna be
16th will
fantastic.
be a Wednesday, so no.
Oh. On the 18th, then.
18th, yay.
One of those ones.
Yeah. We can't wait to see what happens. But you guys will have to. But you won't have to wait for the end of the podcast because it's right here. It's right here and now at the very end. So, Jack, what have you got for us on tap this week for the Cultaholic fans?
This week, I'm not doing anything. Me and Ross now both stream on a Wednesday at different times.
Ooh.
Me at 6 p.m. Ross, when's yours?
1 p.m. BST every Wednesday, because I can't do Sundays anymore. So I'm on 1 p.m. BST every Wednesday. I'll be bringing it home this coming week, hopefully, as I've done a mock Euro. Well, I've called it Real Euro to try and get around copyright potential issues and stuff like that. But you can't have 24 teams in a custom FIFA tournament, so I've had to have 32. So the likes of Sunderland were in there.
I skimmed it and I saw you as England battering Sunderland. I thought, what kind of fever dream?
Yeah. I did like the randomised draw at the start, and I was thinking, I'll do it a few times to get an interesting group, and that was the first one that popped up. I was like, wait, I cannot let that one slide, can I? So yeah, I don't know who I've got. I'm up in the quarterfinals, I think. I just beat Holland 4-1. Shades of 96. It was in the round of 32, though. So yeah. Hi, that's a Twitch stream.
Beautiful. That's the Wednesday doubleheader there. And I will be doing Saturday streaming Alex Kidd. What, the old Master System? No, silly. There's a new one out. It's just a remaster of the Master System one.
Alex
so all the people
Kidd.
remember switching on a Master System with no game on about 1990 and going, hey, free game. Relive those memories with me. Saturday, 6 p.m. BST. There's also lovely articles that Jack's written about
Thank
Roman
you.
Reigns being the
Papering over the cracks, perhaps.
papering over the cracks. The mushy peas and the chip buddy of SmackDown.
Alex Kidd has massive ears, like. I've just Googled him.
Oh, he
okay,
does.
so, sorry.
You can hear those criticisms a mile away, pal. But for now, we have done a long podcast. Most of it's been fun. And some of it's broke. It's been fantastic.
Sorry about
wrestling.
the
I've got to
headphones.
think
No, it's
I
great
forgot-
though. It's been great. I've enjoyed it.
I've got a thing to plug and a thing to say.
Oh, go on.
Straight to hell, Sunday, Nerd Cubed, who gave birth to both Steve and
Nerd
Larson.
Cube, really?
Nerd
Oh,
Cube
wow.
on straight- It's the longest one ever. It clocks in at a full 90 minutes. So that's
Take that, Ace Trainer Liam.
Yeah, hi,
Yeah.
up. And also, the best free way, I'm going to say this in every video I'm on these days, that you can support Cultaholic is by liking. This is on YouTube, by the way. I don't know about Acast or other podcast services. But if you're watching this on YouTube, like the video, leave a generic comment which is like, I like this video. Just something random like that. Just something positive, something random. If you do like the video, and if you're feeling that extra bit saucy with a bit of spice on there as well, share it, because all the engagement, it tickles the algorithm's taint, and then we get good things, you know? It's all about the algorithm these days, so that's the best free way you can support Cultaholic and any other creator that you like, for that matter. Quite frankly.
Quite frankly, yes. What Ross said, we encourage you. We also encourage you to vote at thepatreon.com/Hall of Fame and send us your thoughts, Reese's Pieces and criticisms to mailbag@cultaholic.com. We have been Cultaholic. You've been lovely. We'll put our fist up to the webcams and end this by going 1, 2, 3. Join us.
Join us.
Wagga, 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 wagga.
Sir.